Boy, oh boy, does it feel good to be back with some NBA basketball, and what a way to welcome it back with NBA Cup Friday. Tonight we got Houston versus Spurs. Let's get into it. Class is back in session here tonight, y'all. We are back. Back like we never left, right? Tonight we have the Houston Rockets taking on the San Antonio Spurs, the Wembenyama, maybe too soon crowned MVP of the league, Wembenyama, and the 5-2 San Antonio Spurs, losers of their last two, maybe looking for a little bounce back game here tonight in a very important game. Considering it being an NBA Cup night, maybe the San Antonio Spurs are ready to turn around. Like Justice's dad put in the chat earlier, they are very, very close to getting a little bit healthier. These last couple of games have been without Dylan Harper, who is probably the most natural point guard they have on the roster outside of De'Aaron Fox, who has yet to play so far this year. But De'Aaron Fox is slated to make his return the next game. Not tonight, unfortunately, for the Spurs, considering how important tonight is. This is the best defense in the Spurs, taking on the best offense so far in the season, the Houston Rockets. Now, if you ask me which of those two things seem the most real, I'd probably tell you maybe the Spurs defense, obviously because of Wembanyama's defense, but the Spurs are shooting an unsustainable 42% from three-point range during this season, and as we go through the players, you will see how high these three-point percentages are for the players across their roster. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. Fungpe, what's up, Fungpe? Rudy Riazzi, Lano Monis, Antoinette Partosa. What's up, Antoinette? Good luck to Houston Rockets. Go for the wins. Good luck, guys. Let's go, Rockets. We got a Rockets fan. Appreciate you, Antoinette. And before we get started, actually, real quick, Justice's dad loves to put these in the chat, and I very much appreciate it, Justice's dad. The Rockets have defeated their past 5 opponents by an average of 19.2 points. Houston leads the NBA in scoring 124.7 points per game and three-point shooting percentage 42.7%. Like I said, we're going to go through these percentages across the team for the Rockets, and you'll see just how high it has gotten for a lot of the players on this team. This is the first of 4 games for both of these teams in the league in the in-season tournament. Neither of these teams played last Friday. Today is their first game here in the tournament. With the rivals as part of West Group C, that also includes Portland, Denver, and Golden State. Portland been playing much better under the leadership of new head coach Tiago Splitter. If you guys have been a fan for a little bit, you will remember the name Tiago Splitter, former Spur, funnily enough. Denver, we know, is obviously really good with Jokic, and Golden State can be a little bit up and down, but as long as you got Steph Curry out there, you're always going to have a chance. Now, let's get into it. MB, what's up, MB? How am I doing today? I'm doing pretty good, pretty solid. Ready to go, ready to get back. Yesterday was a nice, solid day off. I was able to prepare, get everything nice and set up and ready to go. Got to clean the room, do a little bit of laundry. Had a very, very productive day. Going back from yesterday into today. Very, very productive, probably past 24 hours here for me. So I'm ready to go, ready to cover some basketball yet again, and we're going to get a good one here tonight. This is going to be a very close game. But of course, with the Houston Rockets, we are always going to start with who I consider is the best players on the team. And I would say Alperen Şengün is the best player, the fulcrum point for the Houston Rockets. Alperen Şengün, not Kevin Durant. And I think Kevin Durant's been very good this season. But at 38 years old, I'm going to go with Alperen Şengün as the best player on this team. He makes this team go. 22.4 points per game so far this year, 9.9 rebounds, pretty much a double-double. 7.3 assists, my man, people used to call him Baby Jokic. He is living up to the nickname. 1.6 steals per game, 0.9 blocks. About a block a game. You want to talk about a guy stepping up defensively for somebody who was seen as maybe a little undersized, maybe athletically challenged. My man is stepping up defensively. He's got good defensive players around him, but boy, oh boy, is he also taking a nice step defensively for himself. The 3.6 turnovers are obviously high. With no true point guard on this Rockets team, Reed Shepherd is the closest thing they have to a true point guard, but he's more of a shooting guard in a point guard's body. We know this. We've talked about it. The loss of Fred VanVleet is obviously a story point for this Houston Rockets team that will plague them all season long unless they find a solution for that. Maybe they'll just go the rest of the year hoping that guys like Şengün and Thompson and Durant can supplement the loss of the point guard. But for now, you got Alperen Şengün doing a lot of the playmaking, a lot of the ball handling, a lot of playing out of the hub, out of the high post, leading to 3.6 turnovers. He is assisting the heck out of the ball, 7.3, but this assist-to-turnover ratio being about 2-to-1 is not necessarily what you want to see from your playmaking big, right? He is shooting 42% from the field, which is very good. Not a far cry from his three-point percentage, which is 43. My goodness, he was a sub-30% three-point shooter last season, and this season, even upping his volume, is an above 40% three-point shooter as of right now. I do suspect that a lot of these percentages from three will start to come down, and then we'll see a regression in the offense for the Houston Rockets, or maybe not. Maybe they will continue to being one of the most historically great three-point shooting teams of all time with Amen Thompson and Tari Eason, a couple of guys who historically have not been very good or very efficient three-point shooters. 74% from the free throw line is probably a little bit more evident of his shooting touch. He's got a decent shooting touch, better than his percentages have shown throughout his career from three-point range, but I don't think he's an above 40% three-point shooter. But maybe he'll prove me wrong this year. As of right now, he's been proving me wrong. This is, game 8 of the season, so far, so good for Alperen Şengün. Şengün has been playing like the star of the Rockets need him to be, upping his playmaking and with no Fred VanVleet, actually making his threes. So as of right now, he's been pretty much exactly what the Houston Rockets have needed. Obviously, a very long season. We'll see if he'll be able to hold up to it. Big Rud, what's up, Big Rud? Happy to see you, brother. We get over to Kevin Durant, the big offseason acquisition for the Houston Rockets. Big trade with the Phoenix Suns, obviously. So far, 24% from 24 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 2.7 assists. Overall, the traditional counting stats a little bit down for Kevin Durant. He is 37 years old. He is also on a team that doesn't necessarily need him to do everything the way maybe Phoenix did, the way maybe Brooklyn did before that. Obviously, he's now getting into the latter parts, like probably the tail end of his career, although he may pull LeBron and we may get him for another 5 seasons, who knows. But at 37 years old, he's starting to wind down his career. He still obviously can go get a bucket when he needs to go get a bucket, but 47% from the field, 87% from the free throw line, 37.5% from three-point range. It's Kevin Durant. We know who it is, right? Right here, we know who Kevin Durant is. There's no need to really dial down his start to the year because it's been more of the same for Kevin Durant throughout his career. It's nice that as he gets older, he can be on a team that does not require him to do everything like we just talked about. It's nice to watch Kevin Durant get the hoop in a form where, one, his team's actually competitive, and two, he doesn't have to do everything because as he gets older here, he's not going to be capable of doing the things he would do when he was 30, when he was 25, when he was maybe even 33. He's now 37 years old. It's nice to see him take a step back, allow guys like Thompson and Şengün to take a step up and be more on ball and allow him to pick his spots more because when he decides, give me the ball, I'm Kevin Durant, it's still going to equate to at least 24 points per game. MB said Kansas beating up on UNC. Oh, we got good college games on today, too. Ooh, basketball is back, baby. I'm loving it. We get over to Amen Thompson. The big story of the season for Amen Thompson is he's probably the favorite going. He was the favorite going into the season for the most improved player this year. Kind of living up to it in terms of the numbers and the impact so far. But at the same time, we all knew it was only a matter of time for Amen Thompson to explode here. 6'7", kind of a combo wing with some point guard abilities. 22 years old. 18.6 points per game so far. Obviously a career high. 6.4 rebounds. A little bit down from last year, but we'll go over why it's a little bit down from last year with this large Houston Rockets team. 5.7 assists, which is a career high, leaning more into being a ball handler, a playmaker, and a point guard. Obviously, with the loss of Fred VanVleet, he's needed to step up in that role. Steal a game, 0.3 blocks. The defensive Counting stats are a little bit down, but the impact is always going to be there for Amin Thompson. 2.6 turnovers, which is not bad at all for a guy still learning the point guard position here who's not a natural point guard. 50% from the field, 67% from the free throw line, and 17.6% from three-point range. And this is the worst you will see so far of the three-point shooters on this team. Because boy, oh boy, are the Houston Rockets not missing from three so far this year. He is the only guy right now who is not shooting threes at a high level whatsoever. And you get over to Jabari Smith Jr., the former number 3 overall pick for the Houston Rockets, a guy who was at one point considered to be the building block of the team before they started to acquire other talents and before other guys started to take a step up. But Jabari Smith Jr. starting to feel his way into the league here and starting to really figure things out. Still only 22 years old. Sometimes I feel like we all forget, because I know I do, just how young these guys still are. They come into the league at 19 years old. This guy is going into his 4th season, and he's 22 years old, still figuring things out, still hasn't hit that peak of his career, that point where things really start to make sense for him. 15.2 points per game, 5 rebounds, 1.5 assists. Nothing too spectacular here. The 15.2 points is very notable and very important for him, because of all the guys on the team, you would think that maybe Jabari Smith Jr. was the guy who could possibly get lost in the shuffle, but he has made his presence definitely felt with this team. How is he doing it? 39.4% from three-point range, a career high so far. The three-point shot was always projected to be there for him, but it's starting to finally come to fruition for him. Starting to knock him down with consistency, which is a great, great sign. 92.3% from the foul line is obviously evident of a nice soft touch from the perimeter. Nice soft touch on that jump shot. 47% from the field is not too bad. For a perimeter big like him. 1.2 steals, 1 block. He is a playmaker defensively. He did come in known as a 3-and-D big, not a traditional kind of archetype for a big man coming into the NBA, but a 3-and-D big nonetheless, and obviously he's still trying to figure out his game, the in-between game, the mid-range game, the finishing of the basket, the pick and rolling, the pick and popping, all of the things in between he's still trying to figure out. But the things that we thought he would have coming into the league, he's really starting to round it out. The three-point shooting and the defense seems to be there right now. Now he can start implementing some other aspects into his game that he has finally come to the original promise that he had coming into the league. The stats may not show it, but on the stats may not show it on a night-to-night basis, but Jabari is incredibly invaluable to this Rockets as he continues to grow as a player. And that's the thing about Jabari Smith Jr. and a lot of these young guys on the Rockets. They're going to continue to get better as the season goes on, and they're already pretty damn good. So how high is the ceiling of this team? I know Fred VanVleet made a lot of people knock them off the championship contending tier. Maybe they'll find themselves playing their way back into that contention. Because, one, they've gotten off to a great start to start the year. But also, there's always a trade in the back pocket. If they feel like, okay, we just need to get over that edge of not having a true point guard. And we'll see as the season goes on. Maybe Thompson really just develops those point guard skills, but obviously we'll have to wait and see. I don't think they're going to make a move imminently. I don't think it's around the corner that they'll make a move. I think they'll wait, see how the season continues to play out, and make a decision from there. But so far, guys like Jabari Smith Jr., Amin Thompson, Alperen Sengun have really stepped up in a way where the Houston Rockets really needed them to step up. You know, over to Reed Sheppard. And of the young guys who needed to step up, Reed Sheppard probably hasn't stepped up to the degree that the Rockets were hoping he would step up. Obviously, with the injury of Fred VanVleet, we all expected a larger role for Reed Sheppard and hoping that he can he's obviously not going to fill the Fred VanVleet-size hole, but to kind of cover it up just a little bit coming off the bench going into year 2, did not get a ton of play in his first season, but Reed Sheppard coming into year 2, having played a full NBA season, having been with the team a full NBA season, the former number 3 overall pick, you would think would be a little bit more comfortable on the court, but still struggling to find his way right now. 10 points per game is not bad, but 2.7 rebounds, 3 assists to 1.3 turnovers, a steal to 0.3 blocks. Okay, nothing that really stands out there, but when you start to get to the percentages here, 41% from the field, 66% from the foul line. This is a little bit troubling. I know he hasn't gotten to the line a whole lot. It's on very, very low volume. Sure, it'll go up as he shoots more free throws. 43% from three-point range is the number that is most important to not just Reed Sheppard, but to this Houston Rockets team right now. As long as he can be comfortable doing the thing that we know he's really good at, I think he'll have value on the court for the Houston Rockets. And as a young player, I've said this about almost every young player so far here tonight, but also throughout the league, they will get better as the season goes on. So, This is not a bad start for Reed Sheppard. I think they wanted a little bit more, but it's not a bad start for him. And I do think we will see him get a lot more comfortable as the season goes on. Now, the question is he a possible trade piece for the Houston Rockets to get a more veteran, seasoned point guard for the playoffs? Or are they just going to bank on the continued development of Reed Sheppard, and will he stay with the team? So time will tell. Maybe the better he plays, the more on the block he will be, but we will see. Sheppard's only definable trait right now is his shooting, struggling with almost every other aspect right now. There are signs of good defense. There are signs of good playmaking, but overall, the only thing you could really bank on with Reed Sheppard coming off the bench for the Rockets is that three-point shooting, which is not a bad trait to have as a backup. And you get over to Tari Eason, and speaking of not having a bad trait of shooting the ball coming off of the bench, 56% from three-point range so far this season for Tari Eason, and that is coming off a pretty miserable opening night game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. What's up, Mark? Happy to see you, brother. Tari Eason has been lighting the Nets on fire. This young man cannot miss right now. 24 years old. I believe this is year 3 for Tari Eason, year 3 or year 4 for Tari Eason out of LSU. Known as a slasher defender coming into the league. Boy, oh boy, does that jump shot look really comfortable for him right now. Obviously, the percentage will come down. He's not going to shoot 50% from three-point range for the season. But so far in the early stages of the season, you can't leave this guy open right now. Now, he is a career 34% three-point shooter, not a good, reliable three-point shooter, and all of a sudden he started off the year incredibly red hot. Now, is it a sign that he's improved the jump shot so much that he's going to be close to around 40% for the year? Like, is he that much more improved as a three-point shooter? Or is it just a hot start to the season? We'll have to see how this continues to develop, because if he is now a marksman from three-point range where you really have to close out on him, boy, oh boy, does it change the trajectory of this young man's career. A 3-and-D monster may be in the making here for the Houston Rockets. For a team that already has a bunch of young stud players, Tari Eason may be added to the list of players. Also, 12.3 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, still doing the things off the bench that make him special with the 9 steals, 0.7 blocks, about a steal and a block a game. Still incredibly impactful, even if the three-point shooting wasn't there. Boy, oh boy, is this dude on fire to start the year. The 60% from the foul line, obviously on low volume as we start the year, but is maybe an indicator that the jump shot isn't all the way there. The touch isn't all the way there from the perimeter, but we will see as the season goes on how real is this Tari Eason jump shooting leap here from him. Just as Dad said, hacking and whacking is the only way to defend in this game. We'll see, man. We'll see. The number 1 defense in the Spurs against the number 1 offense here with the Rockets, which will bend first. And we get over to Clint Capella. Now we get deep into the bench for the Houston Rockets. He's not playing a ton of minutes. Capella doesn't play a ton of minutes. He doesn't play a ton of minutes. He's not as quick or explosive, but still impactful when he's out there on the court. 4.6 points, 5.1 rebounds, 0.4 assists. The 5.1 rebounds is incredibly important for a guy like him coming off the bench, still crashing the glass, still having a big impact. Obviously, doesn't space the floor, so the three-point line, 80% from the foul line is nice to start the year. Has been around a sub 70-ish free throw shooter, so not great, but maybe, just maybe, in a limited situation, he could be a little bit better from the foul line. 70% from the field. If he's not dunking it or laying it up off a wide-open offensive rebound or something, my boy is not taking a shot. He's going to pass right back out. We get over to Dorian Finney-Smith, who's not playing tonight. He's still out with an injury, although he should be coming back soon. Bo Nurse, what's up, Bo? Oh, come on, big dog. Come on. What's up, Bo? Aaron Holiday is the third-string guard at this point. Doesn't really get minutes unless there's an injury, so we should not be seeing Aaron Holiday here tonight. Steven Adams is the surprise rotation player here for the Houston Rockets for me. I didn't initially have a player graphic for Steven Adams, but I had to make one because now he is the starting center for the Rockets. 6.5 points and an incredible 9.5 rebounds in his limited minutes. Doesn't play a ton, obviously starts each half as the starter, but 9.5 rebounds. He's dominating the glass, and he's led the Houston Rockets to being the best rebounding team in the league so far this season. Still a steal and almost a block a game. 1.3 turnovers, 1.7 assists. He's grabbing rebounds. He's kicking it out to his guys. 66% from the field. Just like Clint Capella, if he's not dunking it or laying it up on a wide-open layup off either an offensive rebound or a roll to the rim or a drop-off pass, my boy's not shooting it. He's kicking it back out to his teammates. Free throws, 78% from the foul line. Incredibly good number. Again, like everything else, early in the season, this number should come down because Steven Adams is not a good free throw shooter, to probably around 50-60% for him, as it has been throughout the majority of his career. But now we get over to the San Antonio Spurs, the 5-2 San Antonio Spurs. Victor Wembanyama got off to an incredibly hot start, so much so that people were already naming him the favorite to be MVP of the league. Little preemptive, but at 21 years old, at 8'9", maybe 8'10", maybe 7'4", maybe 10'12". We don't know. We really don't know the height of Victor Wembanyama. They won't tell us. This man is an alien. Some nights he looks like he's 7'7", some nights he looks like he's 7'2", some nights he looks like he's 8'9". Who knows how big he is? But 25.6 points per game, 13 rebounds, 3.1 assists. Absolutely ridiculous stat line here for Wembanyama as a 7'6" center. Who knows? 1.3 steals and a ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous 4.1 blocks per game for Victor Wembanyama. This is just an unfathomable number for me in modern basketball because of the amount of space and pace and passing and three-point shooting that goes on. For him to still be able to get to 4.1 blocks per game, like back in the day, it wasn't the craziest numbers. Guys like Patrick Ewing could sniff 4.1. Guys like Dikembe Mutombo could sniff 4.1. Akeem Olajuwon could sniff things like 4.1 blocks per game, right? But in modern, but that was an era where everything was going to the rim. Everything was inside the three-point line. Everything was trying to get points in the paint. And so centers and their shot blocking and rim protecting capabilities were super important. Victor Wembanyama is playing in an era with so much perimeter shooting, so much passing, so much driving, kicking, that it's incredible to me that he could still get, like obviously he's got the wingspan and the length to be able to get a ton of block shots, but to still get the 4.1 block shots, in my eyes, is one of the, if not the most impressive stat this season of anybody in the league. Incredibly impressed by this stat. His percentages are also pretty fantastic outside of the three-point shooting, which he has dialed back the three-point shooting so far this season. Came into the league very, very comfortable, very, very confident in himself to go ahead and shoot those three-point shots. 50% from the field, almost 80% from the foul line. We know he's got the touch from three-point line, but at 7'7", I want to see him as close to the basket as possible and only taking those three-point shots in rhythm to space out the floor and whatnot. 2, 3, maybe 4 a game for Victor Wembanyama from the three-point line, but other than that, get your butt in that mid to high post and get easier baskets. We get over to the second best player on the team, De'Aaron Fox. We went over is not going to be played tonight, but he will make a season debut coming up very, very soon. I think either tomorrow or coming up. Lionel Monis. What's up, Lionel Monis? You get over to Steph Castle. Steph Castle having an incredible leap here in his second season. 19.4 points per game, damn near a 20-point score in his second season. 6 rebounds, 5.7 assists. He's doing an admirable job filling in for De'Aaron Fox, but this is the reason why he's not really a point guard. 5.7 assists, it's a nice number for a guy who's not a natural point guard. 5 turnovers is dreadful, and this is not a 2 or 3 game sample size. This is now an 8 game sample size. You can't have 5 turnovers in a game. This is like a high school kid, right? This is like what I would average in high school. Like 5 assists, nice, you diamond it up. 5 turnovers, though, to go with it, right? Got to be completely opposite for Steph Castle here. 5 turnovers is way too high for an NBA guard right now. So obviously not a natural point guard. He's going to benefit a ton of having De'Aaron Fox back out there with him. 2 steals per game, 0.4 blocks, still living it up defensively. He's dialing it in for the #1 defense in the league right now in the Spurs. 52% from the field, 66% from the foul line, 32% from three-point range. The shooting is always going to be a question mark for him, but I do think he's trending in the right direction. The shot looks good. He's not settling. He's still attacking the rim, drawing fouls, getting to the foul line. You wish he would knock it down at a higher clip, but working on it. We're working on it. Second year, I'm not going to kill him too much, but it's obviously an area of improvement for my guy, Steph Castle. Counting stats up across the board and has been the second best player next to Wemby. The return of Fox should help lower those turnover numbers for sure. We get over to Devin Vassell, and I'm going to be nice to Devin Vassell here. When you watch Devin Vassell, you just always want a little bit more from him, right? Not to kill him too much, obviously, here. I think he's been fine this year, but that's always the conversation I have with Devin Vassell. It's like, he's been fine, but I just find myself always wanting a little bit more. Almost 15 points per game this season, 4.1 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 0.9 steals, 0.1 blocks, 1.6 turnovers. 40% from the field is not good. 66% from the foul line is not good. And 34% from the foul line is not good enough for For Devin Vassell here. As the wingman here on the Spurs, the defense is solid, but it's fine. The offense is solid, again, but it's fine. And you just keep waiting for Devin Vassell to break through in any era, whether it's scoring or shooting or three-point shooting or getting fouled or ball handling or distributing or any other part of his game for him to hit a next level to show this is my definable trait here in the NBA. And he just hasn't shown. He's just fine at everything so far, which makes like an average NBA player. And I think Devin Vassell has more potential than that. Or maybe not. He's now 25 years old here in the league, starting to get close to hitting that prime. He still has time everybody still has time in order to improve themselves, but he still has time as a young piece to continue to grow. We keep waiting for Vassell to make a leap, but he remains much of the same player as he has been, which is a fine average wing right now. And how much longer are the Spurs going to be willing to just hang on to a fine average wing as they look to really start to compete? Get over to Jeremy Sohan, who I should look up whether or not he's playing tonight. I don't think he is. He has been out majority of the year. He has not made his season debut yet, which I'm going to go ahead and just look up real quick. Don't think Jeremy Sohan is playing. If anybody knows in the chat, go ahead and correct me. But I'm pretty sure he's out. As a matter of fact, I can look it up right here on the Gamecast. As we get ready for the tip-off here in about another 9-10 minutes or so. But if we go over here to the Gamecast, we go down to the injury report. And I think Sohan is available tonight. Dylan Harper is not available tonight. Now, regardless, I did not update Sohan's playing card because I assumed he was not going to play tonight. But last season, 11.4 points, 6.5 rebounds, 2.4 assists. If anything, with Jeremy Sohan, he's incredibly malleable and an incredible versatile player. My guy can do a little bit of everything, not great at almost anything, but he's a very good, impactful defender. Not really a three-point threat, 30% last year. Maybe he's improved on that this season. But started to develop some nice chemistry with Wemby last year. And if he is playing today, we'll see how that continues to develop. But whether he's starting or coming off the bench, it'll be interesting. We head over to Dylan Harper, who's having a solid rookie year so far. Did not update his player card because he is now out for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So the next time we see the Spurs play and Dylan Harper is available, he will get an updated player card. We go over to Harrison Barnes. And Barnes is just a solid steadying force for a young and feisty Spurs team. He's incredibly important to this team for both their emotional maturity, their in-game IQ, all of the things. He's a guy who's won a championship with the Warriors. He's a guy who's been involved in multiple playoff battles. So having him on this team that is clearly probably going to be in the playoffs, if not battle for a playoff spot this season, is very important for a young up-and-coming Spurs team that I don't think anybody really takes them seriously as a championship contending team. But when you have an MVP-like player in Victor Wembanyama, you never know. And having guys like Harrison Barnes is incredibly important. He's just kind of solid. Does his job, 10.4 points, 2.6 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 0.7 steals, 0.3 blocks, 100% from the foul line so far, knocking down his threes. He's going to get a ton of open threes playing off of guys like Wemby. So knocking those down with regularity is important, and he has done exactly that. Get over to Keldon Johnson off the bench, and I think he's actually been an incredibly interesting player for the Spurs this season. 26. Feels like he is 30. Feels like he's been in the league for forever now. He's been a part of the Spurs for forever, but he's only 26 years old out of Kentucky. I think this is his 7th or 8th season. A true blue vet here in Keldon Johnson now. 13 points per game off the bench, 4.7 rebounds, 1.1 assists. He's a bowling ball once he gets into the paint. He's also knocking down his three-point shots. Doesn't take a ton of them because he wants to get downhill, wants to get into that paint. Johnson has developed as a really nice backup wing, who's also a bowling ball going to the basket and can knock down an open three. A great development for Keldon Johnson, being a reliable knockdown three-point shooter on the catch and shoot. When he's open, when he's not open, he can attack a closeout. Attacking a closeout, he makes pretty good decisions out of it. Doesn't turn the ball over a lot. Does do a lot of shooting, but does not turn the ball over a lot, which is also very important if you're going to come off the bench and be a go-to guy. You get over to Luke Cornett, who's just solid as a backup big, one of the better solid backup bigs in the league. 8 points, 8 rebounds. I think this is a career high for him in rebounding so far. 3.5 assists, also not a bad playmaker out of that big man position. Really smart basketball player. 1.5 blocks, is a good rim protector. Doesn't shoot threes anymore, although he came into the league a little bit as a stretch big. Doesn't shoot threes anymore. Once a Nick, always a Nick. Luke Cornett, 58% from the field. He's solid. Cornett continues to be a bland, solid backup big. Usually won't stand out, but he does his job very well. And you get to the last guy on the list here, Carter Bryant. I just felt the need to throw him in there. He's probably not going to play. He's kind of in and out of the rotation constantly. Bryant gets spot minutes. The defense is impactful right now, but he does not have NBA-level offensive capabilities, which keeps him glued to the bench as of right now. When they can get him to the games, they try to get him some experience. When they can't, you got to sit this one out, brother. So we might not see him tonight because it is going to be a very, very tough competitive game against the Houston Rockets. Both of these teams with the same record, 5-2. The Spurs are home. They're 3-0 at home, so we'll see how that impacts the Houston Rockets. An in-state rivalry here. The Houston Rockets take on the San Antonio Spurs, obviously both of them from Texas. Robin Schroll, what's up, Robin? So it's going to be an incredible matchup here tonight. We're about 5 minutes away from tip-off. John Corley, what's up, John? Happy to see you, my man. But that is going to wrap up our pre-game rundown here. Very, very excited for the game here tonight. The Rockets are favored. They are favored here. If we go over to here, you guys can see they're about a 60% in the matchup indicator over on ESPN. It's going to be interesting to see who guards Wembanyama, because you can't really put Steven Adams on it, who's your biggest player. They'll probably maybe try and trust a combination of Kevin Durant and Amen Thompson, who have the size and length to try and bother Wemby. Nobody has the size and length to bother Wemby, but at 6'7", for Amen Thompson with long arms and a big athlete, and for Kevin Durant being about 6'11" with a long wingspan, will probably have, and could also slide their feet on the perimeter, obviously, will probably be the best matchups they have for Wemby, but it'll take a team effort to stay in front of that guy. I think the last 2 games have been a struggle for Wembanyama and the Spurs. I think part of that are teams throwing a lot of different looks game plan-wise in order to stay in front of Wembanyama, but he's seeing a lot of fronting, seeing a lot of double teams before he even catches the ball. He's not necessarily open, forcing a lot of the Spurs players to have to settle for more jump shots as they pack the paint and try to keep Wemby out of it as much as possible, not allowing him to catch it in the high post as they front him. Go ahead, throw it over the top. You're going to have help on the backside. So the Spurs and Wembanyama are going to have to adjust to that, and we'll see how the Houston Rockets play it here tonight, because every team's been trying a couple of different ways in order to defend Wemby to see how it works. Tonight around the league, we got Celtics versus Magic. We got Cavs versus Wizards. Should be a blowout for the Cavs as they have now gotten back on track. Should jump to 6-3 here today. The Wizards likely to fall to 1-8, but we'll see how that game plays out. The Wizards are feisty. Later tonight, soon, we got Raptors, Hawks, Pistons, Nets, Rockets, Spurs. Obviously, the game we're watching here tonight, an Amazon Prime game. Hornets, Heat, Mavs, Grizzlies. Interesting game. Both of those teams kind of stuck in the middle, having very disappointing starts to the year. And Bulls, Bucks, which is a very interesting game. Are the Bulls going to continue their hot streak and jump to 7-1, or can the Bucks slow them down the way they slowed down the Knicks about a week ago? John Corley said Magic versus Browns haircut. Yeah, absolutely. Jazz Timberwolves is interesting with no Walker Kessler. Maybe the Timberwolves came back on track after the Knicks knocked them off back to 500 there, 4-4 on the season. Warriors Nuggets is the late game here on Prime. That should be a fun game as well. The Nuggets always put on a nice show. And then Thunder Kings to round out the night. Also a late game out there on the West Coast. Kings, uneven season, as has been normal for the Kings for the last decade, excluding the one beam year. Robin said Bucks and Bulls is a good one. Yes, we will keep an eye around the league all night long. Keeping an eye on all of these box scores and all the permutations that tonight can go. It's going to be really interesting. It's an NBA Cup night, so all of these games matter just a little bit more to these teams. At least they should. I expect they do. We should be seeing competitive games league-wide. The Magic trying to get back on track here, going up 9-11 against the Celtics. Jaylen Brown is playing. The Magic, they're off to a very disappointing start to the year. 5 for Desmond Bane, who struggled so far this season. Paolo with 4 and 6 and 3. Franz with 9. We are about a minute or two away from tip-off here. Kwame Robertson, what's up, Kwame? Happy to see you, brother. Other guys for the Spurs that he didn't really go over, who will get minutes tonight, should also mention. We go to the Spurs and we go to the last game. They did play the Lakers. Go to their box score real quick. We didn't mention Julian Champagnie, who is a starter on this team, played 33 minutes. He might have to get a player graphic, consider if he's going to be playing that much. Julian Champagnie is a really good vet, kind of like Harrison Barnes, who spreads the court out well for his teammates. 5 for 14 the other night, 3 for 8 from three-point range, incredibly important in that regard. Kelly Olynyk is back. Did not realize Kelly Olynyk was back here. No, interestingly enough, no Luke Cornett. Is Luke Cornett now out hurt? Interesting to note. Lindy Wilder III got playing time, and Jeremy Sochan is back. He got playing time the other night. He had 16 points coming off the bench, only 2 rebounds in his, I believe, his first game back, or one of his first games back. Almighty Alpha, what's up, Almighty? So here we go. Let's get our game cast up as we get ready for the tip-off. We are off and ready to go here tonight. Should be an incredibly fun, entertaining game. We know Ime Udoka is an incredibly smart NBA coach. We'll see what kind of game plan he has to go against Victor Wembanyama tonight, who feels a bit unguardable this season, although he has been neutralized a little bit the last 2 games. So what has Ime Udoka learned? Josh Okogie is also now inserted into the starting lineup for the Houston Rockets. He is another guy who may have to get a player graphic as the season continues. He's proving his value here with the Rockets, so much so that he's been inserted into the starting lineup. Same starting lineup for the Spurs of Vassell, Castle, Wembanyama, Barnes, and Champagnie. Same that they have been playing all season long, as long as they have been healthy. So here we go, ready for the tip-off. Already the 3rd season as the head coach for Ime Udoka here with the Rockets. Feels like just yesterday he was leading the Celtics to a finals run. Almighty said, I need Şengün, Wembanyama, Thompson, and Castle to get a double-double. It's a lot of double-doubles to go around there, brother. I think you're good with Şengün and Wemby. Thompson and Castle are iffy on that one, my man. But here we go. Let's see. Castle has it up top, coming to right off a Wemby screen. In the corner to Champagnie, and no hesitation 3 over Şengün. Can't get it to go. Fight for the rebound, knocked into the air, and Jabari Smith Jr. able to grab it. Now here come the Rockets. Thompson has it up top, being guarded by Castle. Gets it over to Durant, being guarded by Barnes. It's not a great matchup right there. Durant coming to right off the Şengün screen. Back over to Şengün. Up top, doesn't want to shoot it. Gets it out to Thompson. Thompson stops, turns, spins. Kicks it back out to Şengün. They're going to dare him to shoot. Prove they can continue to shoot that 3. Airballs it. Okogie did grab the offensive rebound, but he could not get the shot up in time. ESPN going to keep playing these ads? Come on, ESPN. We're here for basketball. Here we go. Castle driving it down to his right off the Champagnie screen. Can't get it to go, but that's because they call a foul on Şengün. A little soft foul call there. But a foul call nonetheless. It's going to send Castle to the foul line for 2 free throws. So Castle's at the foul line for 2, averaging the 19 points per game so far this year. Misses a free throw. Can be missing free throws tonight against a really, really good Rockets team. Losing 3 in a row for the Spurs would be a rough way to go about, as Castle does knock down the second one, gets a nice friendly roll. Would be a rough way for the season to go after they had to a really hot start, 5-0 run. Spurs up by 1 here. Durant down low to Şengün on the little pick and roll, and he easily gets the little floater to go down. Champagny on the right wing. Wembanyama's being guarded by Okogie. Okogie, a good, physical, smart defender, jumps the passing lane as they try to feed it to Wemby in the post, and Okogie knocks it out of bounds. He's not going to give an inch. He knows what his assignment is tonight. Judge's dad said Fox comes back tomorrow versus our Pelicans. Unfortunately, the Pelicans will continue to struggle this year as De'Aaron Fox is coming back for the Spurs tomorrow. Wembanyama takes Amen Thompson off the bounce, gets all the way to the rim for the easy layup on the right side of the rim. Driving from the left, finishing on the right. Really nothing you can do about that if you're Amen Thompson in that situation. They get it over to Durant, up top, coming to his right for Şengün screen. They're going to run the pick and roll between Durant and Şengün again. Durant gets to the lane, pulls up from the foul line, can't get the little midi to go. Wembanyama bringing it down over to Castle. Castle quickly driving to his left, step back, little fall away mid-range jumper, can't get it to go off the back rim. And now Şengün will bring it down the other way. Şengün trying to get it down low to Jabari. Can't. Gets it inside to Okogie. Gets it knocked out of his hands. Picks it back up. Back out to Şengün. Doesn't want to shoot that three as he pump fakes out of it. Out of the mid-range. Kicks it over to Thompson. He's going to fire a straightaway three, and he's going to knock it down. We went over how Thompson's been struggling from the perimeter all season long. Under 20% so far to start the year. Does knock that one down straight away. Looked confident taking it as well. Castle gets it up top to Wembanyama, knocked out of his hands by Okogie, and Okogie's just going to beat Wembanyama to the ball and get an easy two-handed slam. Okogie knows what the mission is tonight. Keep the ball out of Wembanyama's hands as much as possible. And Wemby looks a little tired, a little fatigued there. Maybe going a little too hard this early in the season. Castle up top, driving to his left, kicks it out to Champagny at the last second. Now back to Castle up top, being guarded by Okogie now in a mismatch. Castle's going to drive it down, uses athleticism, get all the way to the rim. Can't get the lefty finish to go. Again, more good defense from Okogie there. Thompson leaves it off for Durant. Durant on the left wing, attacking, drives it down, draws the foul on, is that Devin Vassell there? And Durant will go to the foul line for 2 free throws. Jutz's dad said, good call on skipping the clip show last night with Kawhi and James Harden out. I didn't even know Kawhi and James Harden were out, Jutz's dad. I had no interest in that game. I stuck to my guns. I trusted my gut. My gut said, we don't have any interest in that game. Don't even bother. You guys said, don't bother. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to even worry about it. I didn't give it a second thought. I came home after work and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to work on prepping for the game today and trying to get some sleep. That's what I did. Durant at the foul line, knocks down both free throws. Of course, it's Kevin Durant. We know what he can do. 9 minutes to go here. Timer's a minute behind, but we'll catch up. Castle has it up top, attacking to his right, over to Champagny. Champagny spots up over Şengün, can't get it to go. Jabari Smith Jr. rips away a rebound, and Jabari bringing it down. He has it in the post now, attacking Vassell in the post. Kicks it out to Durant. Repost for Jabari, faces up, swings through, little fall away midi. Can't get that one to go. Good box down rebound there from Champagny and Wemby. Here comes Castle, bringing it down the other way, pulls it back out. Up top to Champagny. Now back to Castle. Trying to get it over to Wemby. They can't. Okogie's doing a great job of fronting him and denying him that post positioning. They get it out to Vassell for a three. In and out, can't get it to go. Wemby tips the rebound to himself. He's going to keep it in the paint. Stops, turns, kicks it out to Barnes. Barnes, the left corner three. He's been a marksman, and he knocks that one down for the first three-point make of the Spurs for the night. 9-6 here with 8:18 to go. And the Rockets will bring it down. Thompson has it up top. Being guarded by Castle. Gets it over to Şengün. Şengün, high post, right wing. Being guarded by Wemby. Backing him down, backing him down. Kicks it out the last second to Okogie. They're going to dare him to shoot all night, and he's going to make him pay. Knocking down that left corner three there for Josh Okogie. Now under 8 minutes to go. Our timer's a minute behind, but we will catch up. Castle has it up top. Gets it over to Wemby, being guarded by Şengün. Wemby's dancing with it with Şengün out on the perimeter. They call the offensive foul. Wembanyama, using the offhand, accidentally made contact with Şengün's face. Turnover for the Spurs and for Wemby. Ball going the other way. Wemby does look a little distraught right now. And a big acting job for Şengün there. Did not look like Wemby made contact with his face at all, but sometimes you got to sell him. Jabari has it up top, dancing with it against Vassell. Coming to is right off a Durant screen, gets it over to Durant. Durant quickly attacking Vassell off the bounce, gets it knocked out of his hands. Loose ball, Champagnie ends up with it, gets it over to Barnes. Barnes off and running. Barnes gets it over to Wemby before they have any chance to deny him the ball. Wemby in the high post, backing him down, stops, turns, shovels it out. They swing it around. In the corner, Champagnie, back to Vassell. Vassell, right wing three. Maybe didn't need to take that shot. It didn't matter. What do I know? Vassell knocks down that right wing three and draws the foul on a wild closeout by Josh Okogie. A possible 4-point play here for Vassell. Not that wild of a closeout. It was that hand-to-hand contact foul that I'm not a big fan of. MBM, what's up, MBM? 7:15 to go. As Vassell misses the free throw, and Okogie with the rebound. 12-9, one possession game, 3-point game. A little over 7 minutes to go here. Sengun has it up top, but they call a loose ball foul before we get into the offense there. Jeremy Sohan and Keldon Johnson subbing in here. Champagnie and Wembanyama to the bench. Just as Dad said, would you consider Wemby a highlight merchant or just willing to push what the coaching allows him to do in a game? I think he's a young player trying things. I think everything he's shown and everything he has said tells you that he is all about trying to win basketball games. But the thing about it, Sengun spins, it can't knock down a little hook shot, but Jabari Smith Jr. right there for the tip up and in on the offensive glass. But the thing about Wembanyama is he's so gifted in almost every area that as the Spurs turn it over, a bad pass from Castle who got caught in the air. Tried to hit Vassell cutting back door. The pass was off, hit his foot, and goes out of bounds, so the ball will go back to the Rockets here. So Wembanyama gets himself caught in situations, and we get a full timeout from the Spurs. So now we can talk about it. I don't think he's a highlight merchant. I do genuinely think he's trying to win basketball games. I think he's testing the limits of what he can do in the NBA. I think in other leagues he played at, obviously when he was younger, still developing, he could just do things. He was bigger and taller and better than everybody else. And I think in the NBA, he's trying to figure out what he can get away with. I think part of him shooting less threes this year is him realizing I'm bailing out the defense way too often. Like, yeah, I can knock down a three in rhythm. The ball swings to me. I can let that thing fly, right? If we want a specific play, maybe I'm open. Maybe they're playing me really physical, and I just want to breathe it real quick. I can still let that thing fly every now and again. But doesn't need to rely on the three-point shot as much. And this season, the highlights have been crazy, but they've been crazy in a way where it's like, what do you mean he got two big blocks at the rim back-to-back and then dribbled it down and knocked down a 30-footer? Like, what do you mean he did that, you know? Like, all three of those plays that I just named there are winning basketball plays, are important basketball plays. Judge's dad said, what position do you see Cooper Flagg playing? What is he? Not a PG, right? No, he's not a point guard. The thing with Jason Kidd is he did this with Giannis Antetokounmpo years back. He just started Giannis at point guard. Like, he was like, you're going to bring the ball down, you're going to call the plays, you're going to play the point guard position. And for Jason Kidd, who is one of the greatest point guards of all time, I think part of the reason of him doing that is putting these phenomenal play finishers in a position where they have to think about the game in a way that they haven't ever before and normally wouldn't. They wouldn't normally think about what the guards up top and what the distributors on the team are going through in order to help set him up to finish a play, right? Because it's often pressure, it's protecting the ball with your back, but also waiting to see for the play finish to get open off of whatever off-ball movement is going on. It's a lot going on for point guards. If you ever played point guard at any level, you know when they're pressuring you and you got to protect that ball and you got your back to the play and you're protecting the ball all the way out here and you're waiting for your guys to cut and you're like, come on, man, I'm trying to steal the ball, I'm trying to protect the ball, but also keep an eye on what you guys are doing so I get the timing right so I can get you the ball where you need it, right? I think Jason Kidd is like, you need to understand that when you are off ball, you need to play with a certain quickness and a certain intensity that I think a lot of guys normally don't because they just don't fully understand what it's like to have to be that guy to deliver the ball to the play finisher. And like I said, Jason Kidd did this with Giannis. He did this with a couple of other players. He did this with Chris Middleton. Did this with now he's doing it with Cooper Flagg. It's probably good development in the long run, but in the moment, I don't think it's good. And I also don't think it's good to start Cooper Flag doing that as a rookie to start that first season. Like, maybe just get him in the NBA, involved, understanding the physicality and the speed of the league, and then maybe transition him into playing a little bit more point guard and putting him in those uncomfortable situations. But in terms of what his final position is going to be, it's going to be like a small forward, power forward situation, like one of those nebulous wing players who plays big but can also be out on the perimeter. We'll see as his career continues to go on, but no, it's not as a point guard. We're back into it as Kevin Durant misses a baseline jumper, and the Spurs bringing it down. Johnson has it up top, attacking, hands it off to Barnes. Barnes being guarded by Okogie, another deflection. Barnes now has it up top. Coming to his left off the Sohan screen, and they call a moving screen on Jeremy Sohan. Ball going back to the Rockets here. They're up by 5, 14-9. Foongpae with the Foongpae. Come on, Wemby. If Bronny can get 6 assists, 7 easy for you. I mean, they're fundamentally different players, my brother. Thompson bringing it down against Castle. Some full court pressure there. They get it over to Şengün, being guarded by Sohan. We know Sohan's a good defender, but Şengün has the size and strength advantage here. Şengün just bully balling his way to the basket, can't knock down the lefty hook. And then Amen Thompson fighting for the offensive rebound, can't hold on to it. It's going to go back to the Spurs here. Just Dets, it seems early in his career to have him bring the ball up, but totally agree with you as usual. You know, like, it is. Again, I don't think it's a good decision to do that game one of his rookie season, but it's probably good in the long run. You hope it's good in the long run. I don't know if we've ever seen a rookie this uncomfortable, who's this talented in Cooper Flag, to start off his rookie season, because his coach is not putting him in a position to be successful. And a nice dish from Jeremy Sohan as he dribbled it down, handed it off to Keldon Johnson cut along the baseline for an easy layup. And here we go. We're back into it. We're past the halfway point here in this first quarter. It's 14-11. It's a back-and-forth affair here. Neither team off to a particularly hot start. Jabari Smith Jr. gets it over to Durant. I think the Rockets have been cold with some very makeable shots here. As Kevin Durant misses another patented mid-range jump shot from him. Hit ahead to Sohan. Sohan over to Vassell. Vassell will pull up right wing three. Can't get it to go. Johnson with the offensive rebound. Hands it off to Barnes. Barnes, the right corner three. And that's 2 for 2 from three-point range for Harrison Barnes. And speaking of putting big man, power forward-ish, versatile players in spots where they're uncomfortable, Greg Popovich, the great Greg Popovich, as Durant knocks down a foul line jumper. Greg Popovich put Jeremy Sohan in that same position of putting him at point guard. I think it was last season or just a couple of years ago. So, it's not a super unconventional thing to do, as Harrison Barnes knocked down yet another three. Barnes starts off the game in fuego as the Spurs take their first lead of the game, 17-16 here with 4:30 to go. Thompson has it, stops, pump fake, spins. Good defense from Sohan to stick with him. Forced him to kick it out to Jabari Smith Jr., but they hit Thompson with the travel before he was able to get the pass off. Steven Adams has checked in for the Spurs to go against the Spurs team that's gone small here. Sohan playing center. Keldon Johnson down lane. Tough drive on Tari Eason. Gets the righty scoop finish over Steven Adams as well. Now the Spurs up by 3. Game has flipped a little bit here. Tari Eason has it up top, being guarded by Keldon Johnson. Gets it over to Durant. And a foul on Harrison Barnes. A little push on Durant. Durant sold it well as he was off balance. Making sure the refs saw that one. Boom, pace, and when Wemby gets doubled or tripled hit, allies got to cut to the basket. I mean, it's easier said than done. They're not allowing them to cut to the basket because they don't think that the Spurs are a good perimeter shooting team. They're going to dare them to shoot all night long. Those lanes are not open, even off of doubles. Durant throws a lob to Steven Adams, trying to get that old school OKC connection, but Steven Adams, not the young man he used to be, can't get that dunk to go down. Keldon Johnson has it up top, gets it out to Sohan. Sohan's going to settle for the three. Comes up short on that one. Keldon Johnson battles for the offensive rebound, gets the putback to go, and a timeout for the Rockets. It's Keldon Johnson making his imprint known here into the first quarter. 3:45 to go as the Spurs have flipped the game. Now up by 5 when previously trailed by 5. 21-16. Here come the Spurs with Wembanyama off the court. Durant starts the game 1 for 4. Şengün, I don't think, has made a basket yet. You can look at it real quick, but the Rockets, I feel like, are missing a lot of makeable shots. It's interesting because Amen Thompson, who's usually the most athletic player on the court, looks a little uncomfortable right now as he's going up against somebody who's probably just as athletic as him in Steph Castle, who's a very good perimeter defender in his own right and has done a really good job of keeping Amen Thompson out of the paint. The Spurs as a whole done a really good job of keeping the Rockets out of the paint, forcing them to settle for a lot of long floaters, a lot of mid-range jump shots, and when you have guys like Şengün, who's a great floater shooter, and a guy like Kevin Durant, who's a great mid-range shooter, like those shots will probably go down over the course of the full game. But as of right now, they're missing a lot of them. Also, Harrison Barnes starting 3 for 3 from three-point range is, obviously going to give you a bit of a boost if you're San Antonio. But we talked about how Houston has been in fuego from three-point range. So far, they're 2 for 3. The volume is not necessarily there for the Rockets, but the percentage is, knocking down 2 of their 3 attempts. One of them coming from Amen Thompson, and one of them coming from Josh Okogie, 2 guys not known for their three-point shooting at all. Şengün is 1 for 4 from the field, same with Kevin Durant. Şengün does have 2 rebounds and 3 assists, doing a good job of being a distributor and playing as a hub. As we talked about in the pregame, they're obviously with no point guard out there, as has been talked about relentlessly about the Houston Rockets this season. Alperen Şengün having to do a lot of the playmaking, a lot of the ball handling here for the Rockets. Up to 3 assists early in the first quarter, as he's already subbed out. I'd probably say maybe the 3 Harrison Barnes three-point shots evens out the fact that Thompson and Okogie have been the 2 guys who've knocked down 3 so far. Now, Okogie is shooting a pretty good percentage, and he's about maybe a slightly below average three-point shooter over the course of his career on maybe not so great volumes, but even still. I think I'd still be okay giving up three-point looks to Josh Okogie and Amen Thompson all night long. We'll see how that continues to play out. Maybe they'll find cracks in the Spurs defense here, but the Spurs are the best defense in the league so far. The Rockets are the best offense. So, like we said in the pregame, we'll see which one cracks first here tonight. So here we go. Checking back in after the timeout. And I had my timer ticking the whole time. Y'all didn't say a single thing. 3:40 to go here. Jabari Smith Jr. has it on the left wing, hands it off to Reed Sheppard, who's checked in. The Rockets are out there with, go back to our game cast, so we could tell. They get it into Durant, mid-post against Barnes, stops, turns, spins, fall away in rhythm. Too strong, can't get it to go. Another usually automatic basket for Kevin Durant, misses there. Castle bringing it down, coming to his left off to Sochan, throws a lob to Sochan, can't get it to go, battle for the loose ball, and off of the fingertips of Jeremy Sochan there. Wembanyama checking back in. Didn't have him on the court for long. Lindy Waters III also checking in. Spurs known as an organization that will give guys a chance. Lindy Waters III getting a chance. You're a former Thunder player. Lindy Waters III. Tari Eason bringing it down. The Rockets are out there with Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason, Steven Adams, and Reed Sheppard. Eason on the left wing gets it over to Durant in that mid-post. Again, a bad pass. Durant able to save it. Nope, he was out of bounds when he tried to save it. Ball going back to the Spurs. The Spurs are out there with Harrison Barnes, Victor Wembanyama, Lindy Waters III, Keldon Johnson, and Jeremy Sochan. Lindy Waters III bringing it down. Has it up top. Being guarded by Sheppard, coming to right off the screen. Now they get it back to Barnes, already hit 3. Comes up short on that one. Eason has it on the right wing as he brings it down over to Sheppard. Lindy Waters III picks him up. Crosses over to his right off an Adams screen, driving it down. Mid-range pull-up jumper for Sheppard. Got it to go. Reed Sheppard looking a lot more comfortable out there versus the last time we saw the Rockets play, which was on opening night against the Thunder. Sochan driving it down against Steven Adams. Picks up his handles. Got nowhere to go with it. Takes it out to Barnes. Barnes has it up top being guarded by Şengün. Now gets it over to Wemby, being guarded by Eason. He goes quickly at the foul line, hits Sohan, comes to the rim, pump fake, goes up off glass, can't get it to go, looking for a foul, doesn't get it. Good defense from the Rockets and from Steven Adams. Here comes Amon Thompson pushing it the other way. Swing through down the lane, puts up a tough floater, can't get it to go. Wemby contested it, Barnes with the rebound, hit ahead to Keldon Johnson. The Spurs are off and running. Now they're going to slow it down, look for an open shot. Good defense from the Rockets to disrupt their ability to run their offense. Gets it up top to Wemby. Wemby saying, cool it down, I got this. One-on-one, a pull-up three. Off the back rim, can't get it to go. Sohan chases down the loose ball rebound. Out to Lindy Waters, over to Barnes. Barnes, extra pass to Wemby. Wemby, pump fake, sets his feet, fires another three here. Can't get it to go. And I think the Rockets are very happy with Wembanyama settling for three-point shots right now. Hasn't made a single one so far. Şengün has it on the left wing. Being guarded by Keldon Johnson. They show two. Wemby jumps it, knocks it out of Şengün's hands. He picks it back up. Shot clock down to 5. He's got to go. And then Keldon Johnson fouls Şengün down low. And Şengün immediately goes to his teammates and saying, you got to go there. They brought the double team over. You need to cut to this area because you're my outlet. M6 Lindsay. What's up, M6 Lindsay? What's up, Lindsay? I need Wemby to hit 2 threes. Well, he just took the 2 there and missed both of them. He might settle for a lot more three-point shots here because the Rockets are a very physical basketball team, so it may push Wemby out to take more perimeter shots. Get it into Şengün being guarded by Wemby. Has it along the left baseline, spins towards the baseline out of the post, goes right into Wembanyama's chest and knocks down the little hook over him. Just got his body into Wemby, created just enough space, used the rim as another defender. Wemby has it knocked out of his hands. Eason picks it up. He's going to get an easy two-handed slam the other way. Wembanyama doing way too much right now. Way too much right now. The Rockets now take a 1-point lead over the Spurs. We start to wind down the final minute of this quarter here. Kelly Olynyk has entered the game. Olynyk attacking out of the left, stops, turns, pivots, pump fake, steps through, throws up the floater, gets a nice soft bounce off the back rim, and he gets it to drop down. Spurs go back up by 1 here. 40 seconds to go. Şengün has it up top. He's going to walk into a pull-up 3 straight away. Well short. Lindy Waters the third with the rebound. He's going to push it. Has it up top. Now hold it for what could be the final possession. No, over to Johnson. He's going to quickly attack. Can't get the layup. Blocked from behind by Şengün. Thompson picks it up. He's going to quickly try and push the other way, but now he recognizes he should hold it for the final shot of the quarter. Thompson being guarded by Sohan, coming to his left off the Şengün screen. Pocket pass to Şengün. Kicks it out to Eason. He's been on fire from 3, and he continues that as he knocks down yet another corner 3 for the Rockets. Olynyk bringing it down. Lindy Waters bringing it down, and draws the foul out on the perimeter. I believe there was a foul to give for the Rockets there, so it should be side out of bounds with about 2 seconds to go here. Just dad said not really into watching Wemby take 30-footers. They're being very physical with him down low in the post right now. He's having a really difficult time of even catching the ball and getting post positioning. And so he's settling. He is indeed settling for threes, not wanting to have to deal with this perimeter pressure from the Rockets right now. Lindy Waters has the fire at the buzzer, comes up well short, and that's going to be the end of our first quarter, 25-23. And the game plan is out on Wembanyama. The game plan is out on Wembanyama right now. Now it's up to him to adjust to it. This is now the 3rd game in a row where he is struggling so far. Foong said, great commentary. It's fast-paced. You're keeping up. I'm trying my best, brother. Trying my best. Sometimes I feel like I messed that call up. I definitely messed that one up. Game moved too fast for me. Let me try and catch up real quick. I'm trying my best. Justice Dad's amazing edits out the court talk, swearing, trash talking. The dog catcher, what's up, dog catcher? The battle for Texas NBA relevancy. I think the Rockets, well, Spurs do have Wemby, so there's that. But like I was saying, what's up, dog catcher, by the way? What's poppin', my guy? Happy to see you again, dog catcher. Like I was saying, the book is out on what you need to do in order to guard Wembanyama. Extremely physical. It's nothing complicated. Extremely physical. Don't just allow him to catch the ball. Make the catch difficult. Try and front it as much as possible. Normally, you either play behind the post player or you try to front the post and get in front of the guy and deny an easy entry pass, force them to try and throw it over you, and then at that point, you're relying on the weak side, backside help from your teammates, right? As long as everybody's on the same page, fronting the postman is a pretty good idea, right? They are doing a lot of that to Wembanyama, but what they're also doing right now is they're playing a lot on the side of the post, which is an interesting way of playing a post player for a number of reasons. Number one, it's really easy if the Spurs can position it correctly for Wembanyama to go to one of the elbows, try to establish position, and if a guy like Tari Eason or Josh Okogie, who've been the two main defenders of Victor Wembanyama tonight, try to do that side denial of the post, also try and play in the back. The traditional way of beating that is pretty simple. Part of the reason why you don't normally play on the side like that of a post player is because if the basket is behind me and I'm simply just trying to call for the ball out of the high post here, and the basket's behind me where the green screen is, right? Normally a player's going to be on my backside with an elbow with a forearm to my back, trying to nudge me and push me out as far as possible so I don't catch the ball closer to the rim. Or they're playing in front of me, so I have to then call for an over-the-top pass. They're playing out of the side with a forearm on him or a hand on the back, trying to deny the entry pass this way and also trying to deny an over-the-top pass so they don't have to be as reliant on their teammates. If you're Wembanyama and the Spurs, one way to beat that is to be here and make them think that you're pushing them out and then quickly spin to the basket for a lob pass. And at 7'7", Victor Wembanyama should easily be able to catch a lob pass and dunk it down if there's no help on the weak side coming over. And even if there is, he's still tall enough where if you throw it up there perfectly. This is the issue of not having a true traditional point guard out there for the San Antonio Spurs. If Fox is out there, maybe even a Dylan Harper, and since he's gone down, the Spurs have really started to struggle to generate easy looks for Victor Wembanyama now that the NBA defenses are trying to catch on and guard him in different ways. It'll be interesting to see how Victor Wembanyama solves this here tonight, coming out of the quarter with only 2 points and 3 turnovers. So here we go. Reed Sheppard is in. He has it up top. Being guarded by McLaughlin of the Spurs. Hands it off to Eason. No, is that Thompson? Hands it off to Thompson. Gets it over to Sheppard. Sheppard coming to his left off the screen. A pull-up three. Can't get it to go. Wembanyama with the rebound. The Spurs come out with Wemby, Olynyk, Lindy Waters III, Keldon Johnson, and Jordan McLaughlin. McLaughlin down the lane, kicks out to Lindy Waters, right corner three. He gets it to go down. Lindy Waters III knocking down a big three there. The Rockets come out with Şengün, Thompson, Eason, Capella, and Sheppard. Şengün has it up top. Being guarded by Wemby. Gets it over to Eason. Eason back to Şengün. Şengün coming to his left. Waving off Amon Thompson, saying, go through. I want it in the post against Wemby. Took him right under the rim the first time. Now he's going to try and do it again. Leans in again. Off glass. Got it to go for Alperen Şengün. Somehow getting it past Wembanyama out of the post. Very confident in his ability to back him down here tonight. McLaughlin has it up top. Gets it over to Keldon Johnson. Looks like the Rockets are in a zone here. They get it over to Johnson. Johnson driving it down. Blowing past the defense in the lane. Pump fake goes up. Gets blocked out of bounds. They're going to say it's off of Johnson. Ball going back to the Rockets. That was Eason and Thompson converging there for the contest against the Keldon Johnson drive. Blind Tay, what's up, Tay? MBM said Texas State Championship. Yes, sir. They get it over to Şengün. Pump fakes from three, being guarded by Wemby. Over to Thompson. Thompson now going to settle for the left wing three. They'll give that to him all night long. He misses it. Wemby chases down the rebound. Hit ahead to Lindy Waters. Waters up top, being guarded by Thompson. Gets it over to Wemby. Wemby being guarded by Eason. Out on the perimeter, 30 feet away. Hits Keldon Johnson rolling to the rim. Keldon Johnson tries to hit it in the corner to Lindy Waters. An off-base pass for Keldon Johnson right through the hands of Lindy Waters III there. Thompson has it up top. Being guarded by Keldon Johnson. They swing it out. Şengün, a left wing three. Can't get that one to go. The Rockets struggling out on the three-point line here tonight. Şengün tries to get it up top. Ball knocked away. Reed goes into the backcourt to recover it. Reed Sheppard crossing over to his right. Stepping back, hesitates, cross-court pass, Thompson, he's open, he's got to put it up with the shot clock winding down, and he gets that one to go down. The second made three for Amen Thompson. Maybe not struggling as much as I was saying earlier about struggling from three. Maybe not as much. McLaughlin navigating down against the zone defense here. Gets it over to Johnson, who gets blocked at the rim. They swing it around now off the recovery. McLaughlin down the lane, gets an easy layup as he blew past Reed Shepard. Can't get blown past that easily there. 30-28. A little bit of a helter-skelter game here for the Spurs. Ball gets knocked out of bounds by Wemby. Steph Castle's going to check back into the game here. Got 9:30 to go. The dog catcher said the Wemby Posdy special name, French press. Oh, we got a spillage on the baseline there. Somebody's drink spilled. So now we got all the little towel boys running in. Gotta clean it up. Make sure nobody slips and falls. Gotta delay the game a couple minutes. About 9:30 to go. Gave us just enough time for our timer to catch up. But the Rockets have the ball here. Amen Thompson will inbound it. Vassell and Castle have checked back in. They're out there with Olynyk, McLaughlin, and Wemby. The Rockets are out there with Şengün, Thompson, Eason, Capella, and Shepard. Thompson has it up top, being guarded by Castle. Gets it over to Şengün. Şengün trying to direct traffic, hands it off to Shepard. Shepard down the lane, throws up the floater, got it to go. Reed Shepard having a nice impact so far here offensively. Defensively, not so much. Under 9 to go. McLaughlin has it up top, coming to his left off a Olynyk screen. Looks like the Rockets are still into that zone. They kick it out to Vassell. Fires away straight away three. Can't get it to go. Şengün with the rebound. Here comes Thompson. Thompson has it up top, being guarded by McLaughlin. Blows right past him down the lane. Inside to Şengün. Extra pass to Capella. Back to Şengün. Şengün tries to kick it into the corner, but knocked out of bounds by Vassell. Good hands from him. Excellent recovery from the Spurs there, who most teams would have given up a layup there. Spurs did a great job recovering, not giving any airspace to any of the cutters there. Great passing from the Rockets and good recovery from the Spurs. Şengün and Thompson are going to sub out now. Jabari Smith Jr. and Kevin Durant sub back in. Durant gets it over to Shepard. Shepard hands it off to Durant, being guarded by Castle. Coming to his right off a Capella screen. Leans in. Castle knocks the ball out of his hands. McLaughlin picks it up, bringing it down. Hit ahead to Castle. He's going to spot it for a left wing three. Air balls in transition. Not what you want to see if you're a Spurs fan. Here comes Jabari Smith Jr. bringing it down the other way off the air ball rebound. Jabari Smith Jr. fakes the handoff, trying to split the defense, loses the handle, loses his balance, and falls down as the ball goes out of bounds. And the Spurs quickly pushing it the other way. A little over 8 minutes to go here. Home run pass to Vassell to the rim, hangs in the air, can't get the finish, fight for the loose ball, out of bounds off of the Rockets as Wemby knocks it off of, I believe, Durant there. Foongpae, what's up, Foongpae? If Wemby uses his star magnetard power to draw the double-triple teams, he could dish to cutters for easy assist. Not necessarily how basketball works, my brother. But just like that inside, Wemby hit a cutter. There you go, Foongpae. There you go. But even though Wemby, even if Wemby is able to draw a double or a triple team, which nobody's triple teaming anybody in the NBA, if you draw a double team in the NBA, the way defenses work is the other defenders shrink down the court and get sucked into the paint, and so there are no open cutters. The guys that are open off of double teams are kickouts to the three-point line. The Spurs don't have knockdown three-point shooters in the game right now, which is part of the reason why Champagnie and Harrison Barnes are in the starting lineup, because those are veteran players that can consistently, or have consistently throughout their career, knock down the three. But Castle, not a three-point shooter. Vassell, not a reliable three-point shooter. Sohan, not a reliable three-point shooter. McLaughlin in the game right now, not a reliable three-point shooter. Olynyk has just come back from injury, has not shown the reliability of shooting the three so far, though he has that reputation throughout his career. So the Rockets are not going to give you cutters, man. This isn't middle school basketball. The NBA. Durant has it in the mid-post, backing down Castle. Little fall-away jumper over him. Smoothly gets it to go down. That's Kevin Durant right there. We know who he is. They did knock down both of their free throws on that last possession. Easton comes up with a steal, and Castle pushing it. Reed Shepherd to pull up three. Got it to go, Reed Shepherd. Okay. That's now 7 points for Reed Shepherd off the bench, feeling himself here tonight. 7:30 to go here in the second quarter. Poompe said, remember when they said the same thing about Will? He won most assists. He had one season where he averaged over 10 assists a game, and that was a season where he specifically went out of his way to get assists. It was not to win basketball games. It was not taking advantage of the offense. He was getting maligned for not trusting his teammates and not passing the ball, and so the next season he said, you know what? All I'm going to do is pass the ball, and he averaged over 10 assists. That is not the example you want to use, my brother. And no, I don't remember it because that was back in the 70s, and I was not alive in the 70s, Poompe. But the context around Wilt Chamberlain averaging 10 assists is not because all he did was get double teamed and he hit cutters going to the rim. It was him going out of his way to make sure he stacked up as many assists as possible. We get a Spurs full timeout here after that Reed Shepherd pull-up three in transition. A pretty tough shot there. Takes a ton of confidence to shoot that shot. Pull-up three in transition there for Reed Shepherd. He's up to 7 points here off the bench. 3 for 4 from the field, 1 for 2 from three-point range. The Rockets aren't taking a ton of threes, but they are knocking down the ones they do take overall. Wembanyama's only taken 3 shots so far. Can't get open, man. He can't get open. Dog Catcher said Slim Reaper Gay D. We know who he is. We don't have to complicate thinking how Kevin Durant can add to this Rockets team. We know who he is. We know what he's capable of. That man's going to get to the mid-range, even though he did not knock down the mid-range shot in that first quarter. We know it'll go down eventually here tonight. Poompe said, I can't win you over on Swiss Army Wemby. I respect your stance. There are no cutters on this Spurs team. There are not going to be any available cutters off of double teams. Teams feel very comfortable doubling Wembanyama right now because the Spurs don't have reliable three-point shooters out there. Once they get Fox back, once maybe Vassell develops into a more reliable three-point shooter, you have Barnes, you have Champagnie. They brought in Olynyk to try and space the court out around Wemby as much as possible. But teams are very comfortable doubling Wemby because you can just pack the paint and force him to kick it out to a three-point shooter, and they're going to live or die with Castle taking threes, even like a Harrison Barnes taking three. Like, they're going to live and die with that. They don't think Harrison Barnes is going to hit 7, 8, 9, 10 threes against them here tonight. Started the game 3 for 3, which was great, but they're not confident, and I mean opposing teams, they're not confident that Harrison Barnes is going to be the guy that kills them. And as long as Wembanyama's not the guy taking the shots, teams are very happy and more than okay with Wembanyama for kicking the ball out to the perimeter for perimeter shots from his teammates. And now with guys like Jeremy Sohan coming back, it's going to make it even a little bit more difficult for Wembanyama because now the floor gets a little bit short, a little bit shrunken more for Victor Wembanyama when he plays alongside Sohan. So the Spurs will bring it down after that timeout. We'll see what kind of adjustments they have. McLaughlin coming to right up a barn screen, gets to the mid-range, a little pull-up jumper, airballs it. Jabari Smith Jr. has it up top. Rockets holding on to a 7-point lead, hands it off to Shepherd. Shepherd being chased by McLaughlin, coming to his right. Mid-range pull-up jumper, he's feeling himself, comes up short on that one. Capella with the offensive rebound, back out to Shepherd. Another 3, splashes it, nothing but net for Reed Shepherd, who's having himself a night here tonight. McLaughlin gets it over to Vassell in the corner to Champagnie in the post against Wemby. Show double team out to Champagnie. Pump fakes from 3. They swing it around. McLaughlin a left wing 3. Like I said, there are no cutters. They'll live with McLaughlin shooting that 3. He made it. They'll live with McLaughlin being the guy to shoot the 3 off the Wemby double team. Jabari Smith Jr. has it on the left wing, being guarded by Champagnie. Has it in the post now. Stop, turn. Little fall away foul line jumper. Airballs it. Capella, another offensive rebound. Kicks it out to Easton. Pump fakes, driving it down to the baseline. Throws up a hook. Air mails it. Easton with the offensive rebound. Kicks it up top. Kevin Durant wide open for three, and you had to expect that was going to go down. Can't give Durant the open look there. And now the Rockets are heating up a 10-point lead over the Spurs. McLaughlin over to Vassell. They swing it over to Champagnie. Durant steps in front of him, and they call a blocking foul on Durant, who's incensed at the foul call there. Doesn't understand it. But a blocking foul on Durant nonetheless. The Rockets destroying the Spurs right now on the glass, creating multiple second opportunities, taking it out for open three-point shots, first from Reed Sheppard, then from Kevin Durant, two guys who are knocked down from three-point range. Sochan is in the game now. He has it up top, being guarded by Capella. Hands it off to Vassell. Vassell coming to his left, driving it down, stops, turns, pump fake, spins, gets it out to Keldon Johnson along the baseline, kicks it over to Sochan, pump fakes, now driving to his left. Shot clock winding down, stop, turn, half spin, doesn't get a shot off as the shot clock expires, and the ball going back to the Rockets as we now pass the halfway point of the second quarter, 5:58 to go exactly. Couple of substitutions here. The Rockets are out there with Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., Josh Okogie, Steven Adams, and Reed Sheppard. The Spurs are out there with Barnes, Champagnie, Vassell, Johnson, and Sochan. They get it over to Durant. Durant has it up top, being guarded by Barnes. Coming to his right, over the top pass to Adams. They swing it out to Okogie. Okogie pump fakes out of the left corner. Back up top to Durant. Jab step coming to his left. Little fall-away jumper over two defenders. Good defense from Sochan there. Champagnie with the rebound. Home run pass to Sochan. He's got one man to beat in Sheppard. Sheppard does a good job staying in front of him, but they kick it out to Champagnie for a transition three, and he knocks it down. Spurs needed a big shot there, and Champagnie delivered. Good push from Sochan there. And then on the other way, Okogie tries to sneak in a quick, easy layup there. Sochan bringing it down off the missed layup. Picks it up, tries to pick it up, but no. Reed Sheppard comes from behind, steals it, gets it over to Okogie, and he now gets the easy layup on as a dunk on the other end. Back up by 9 for the Rockets, led by Okogie and Sheppard applying pressure to the Spurs backcourt there, causing a turnover. Vassell has it up top, dancing with it against Sheppard, pulls it back out, crosses over, gets it over to Champagnie, back up top to Vassell. Sheppard goes for the steal. Vassell driving it down. And a 3 seconds on the Rockets. Got caught standing in the paint a little too often. So the Spurs will get a free throw out of it, a free point here. Vassell can knock down the technical free throw on the 3-second call. Does knock down the free point. Keldon Johnson to the bench. Castle back out. Wemby out of the game as well. So Castle has it up top, being guarded by Okogie. Driving to his right, kicks it out to Sochan, who settles for a three. Can't get it to go on the left wing. Jabari Smith Jr. with the rebound. He'll bring it down now. Rockets holding on to an 8-point lead. 45-37. Jabari Smith Jr. has it up top. Crosses over to his left off a Steven Adams screen. Driving it down in the corner. Okogie catches. Pump fake. Driving along the baseline. Throws up a floater. Can't get the floater to go, but he does draw the foul on Castle. Don't love that foul call, but it's going to send Okogie to the foul line for 2 free throws there. Christopher Kahn. What's up, Christopher? Doug Fresh. What's up, Doug Fresh? Justice, that's a 2 fouls on the rain already. Sorry, I had my phone in my pocket. I'll catch it. Oh, I didn't see it earlier. Justice, that's a Chengun translates to shot taker in Old English language. Is it really? Just that's a Capella role player. I feel old. Yeah. Full circle. Him starting off as a role player with the Rockets, now coming back to the Rockets as a role player after he spent a long time as the starter in Atlanta. Okogie knocks down both of the free throws. 4:30 to go here. Castle has it up top. Wembanyama is checked back in. They kick it out to Champagnie. Right corner three. He's got space. Can't get it to go down. Fight for the rebound. Castle knocks it out. Ball going back to the Rockets. Amin Thompson has it up top. Coming to his right. Castle guarding him. Over the top pass to Durant. Durant swings through to his right, driving it down. Foul line, pull-up jumper, well contested. Can't get it to go as it rolls off the rim. Fight for the rebound. Wembanyama knocks it away from Steven Adams. And now here comes Castle pushing the other way, being picked up by Okogie. Castle dancing with it, gets it out to Wemby. Wemby's going to settle for yet another three, and yet another miss for Wembanyama from three-point range. Here come the Rockets pushing it the other way. Thompson has it on the left wing. Quickly attacking, coming to his right, knocked it off his foot, but right to Jabari Smith Jr. Now over to Durant up top, isolating. Durant being guarded by Vassell. Over the top pass to a slipping Jabari Smith Jr. off the screen. Foul line, or mid-range jumper, about 8 feet away. Gets fouled by Harrison Barnes. He's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws. Christopher Kahn said, fun fact, both of these teams suck. I'm sorry you don't really like basketball that much, Chris. Both of these teams pretty good, pretty entertaining as well. Jabari Smith Jr. has it up top, at the foul line, I should say. Has it at the foul line. Knocks down the first free throw. Can give the Rockets their largest lead of the game here. Already he's given the Rockets the largest lead of the game, now 11. Chris said, I told you before I'm a Utah Jazz fan. It's unfortunate, brother. It's unfortunate. Jabari Smith Jr. knocked down the first one. He's got one more coming. He's got 6 rebounds tonight. Only the 3 points. He can make it 4 here. Does not make it 4, missing the other free throw. An 11-point game here, 48-37. Castle bringing it down, 3:30 to go. Castle up top, coming to his right up the Wemby screen. Pulling it back out, pass fake, over to Barnes. Barnes swing through towards the baseline. Euro steps down low, puts up the floater, gets the roll to get down low. Back to a single-digit game. Spurs hanging around. If they can get Wembanyama activated here, they're hanging around. Really struggling to get him any clean looks, though. The Rockets' defense has been spectacular. Their game plan has been amazing. Durant has it. The foul line stops, turns, pump fake, spins, kicks it out. Jabari, left corner 3. Good contest from Wemby. Can't get it to go. And a loose ball foul, I think, on Şengün, running right over Harrison Barnes. And the ball is going to go back to the Spurs. I mean, they already had the rebound anyway, but Şengün will pick up a foul, which is obviously not good in the long run. Boom pace, definitely room for improvement. Having Wemby chuck threes is dismal. I mean, they're not. They want Wemby closer to the basket. He just can't get closer to the basket against this Rockets defense right now. Defense and the game plan and the execution from the Rockets has been pretty spectacular to keep Wembanyama out of the paint, number one. And number two, not give him any clean looks out of the high post. Not giving him any even clean catches, let alone looks. Wembanyama feeling like I got to get some shots up, settling for these three-point attempts. Right? He can't handle the ball against his ball pressure. He's already got it knocked out of his hands 2 or 3 times tonight. So he can't take guys off the dribble necessarily because they're putting perimeter defenders on him like Thompson or Eason or Okogie. And so if Wembanyama tries to take him off the bounce, they're knocking it out of his hands and causing turnovers or steals. You don't want that. So he can't ball handle against these guys. And so he's got to catch it in the post and doing a great job of fronting the post or playing out of the side and forcing over the top passes, bringing over help side to deter any of the passes, denying any of the passes with the ball handler guarding the guy with the ball. Rockets' game plan has just been impeccable so far, and the Spurs don't really have an answer to get Wemby any easier shots right now. Just that said, low-scoring Spurs. I mean, if you don't really have anything from Wemby, you don't really have much going on. This is part of the reason of why they went and traded for De'Aaron Fox, just the known guy who can go get you a basket when you need him to get a basket. Right? Has been the go-to guy for the Sacramento Kings for many, many years. Should make Wembanyama's life significantly easier by having 2 guys out there you have to seriously respect with the ball in their hands, or even as off-ball threats. De'Aaron Fox has started to improve his three-point shooting a little bit. Been up and down throughout his career overall, but even the loss of a guy like Dylan Harper significantly hurts the Spurs offense because he's really the only other point guard they have on the team. Really the only other point guard they have on the team. With no De'Aaron Fox and no Dylan Harper out there, you got Steph Castle trying to play the part of point guard, and he's not really a point guard. Right? More of a slasher, more of a wing, more of a shooting guard than anything else. And so when there are issues like this out on the court, Wembanyama can't be the only guy trying to figure it out, trying to figure out how to get an easier basket. Barnes is limited as a swingman. Champagny is limited as a swingman. Vassell is limited. You really need Castle to figure it out, but he's only in year 2 playing out of position at point guard here. Lon, I'm just reminding people the like button. Appreciate you, Lon. Appreciate you. Chris Khan said at one point in time both teams were good. At one point in time, anybody and everybody was good, my brother. David Haas Jr. What's up, David? Got 2:49 remaining here in the second. Rockets up by 9. They have all the momentum going for them right now. The Spurs really struggling to generate easy offense here. I don't think I would describe any shot that they've taken tonight as easy offense so far. Barnes gets it into Castle, gets it over to Wemby. Wemby has it up top, being guarded by Adams. Swings through to his left, kicks it out to Vassell. Up top to Barnes. Barnes misses another 3. Can't get it to go. Thompson secures the rebound. And like I said earlier, Barnes hit 3 threes to start the game and has missed his last 2. The Rockets will live with Harrison Barnes being the guy trying to beat him from the perimeter. Sengun backing down Castle. Hits Thompson, cut to the rim. Gets blocked by Wembanyama, but ultimately they call a foul on Keldon Johnson, who was just out of position just enough for Thompson to take a pretty nasty bump on the side. He's still down on the floor. Oh, Wemby hit. It wasn't the bump from Johnson that hurt Amen Thompson. It was Wembanyama after the block. On the follow-through from the block, pack hands Amen Thompson as he's already going down. So now he's at the foul line for 2 free throws. Knocks down the first one. Just that said, Blake Griffin, Hall of Famer, without a shadow of a doubt, Hall of Famer. Without a shadow of a doubt, my man. He's first ballot. Already put him in right now. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait the 5 years of not playing. Go ahead, throw him in there. Thompson knocks down both free throws. 11-point lead. 2:20 to go. Castle has it up top to get it over to Vassell. Rockets back into that zone with Thompson, Jabari, Steven Adams, Durant, and Sengun. An incredibly huge lineup out there right now. Wemby tries to hit. Castle coming back door. Is not open. Ball finds its way out to Johnson. He puts up the 3, can't get it to go. Vassell battling on the glass, can't get it, and knocked out of bounds off of Sengun. And Sengun immediately signals for the challenge. They're going to give it to San Antonio right now, and I don't think they're going to use the challenge here. They get it in the Wembanyama, settles for the midi jump shot over Adams, and he gets that one to go down. Maybe that could be the catalyst of him finding the range right now. Rockets doing a great job of keeping him out of the paint, having to settle for a lot of jump shots tonight. That's his first perimeter shot to go down for Wemby. They throw it over the top to Sengun. Sengun tries to hit the bounce pass to Steven Adams under the rim. Keldon Johnson saw it coming a mile away, picked it off, but his foot was on the line as he tried to accelerate towards the other end of the court, and he ends up being out of bounds. Ball is going to stick with the Rockets here. Get it into Durant, being guarded by Barnes. Durant, mid-post, swings through towards the baseline, towards the foul line, They get it inside to Thompson. Thompson tries to kick it out. Jabari Smith Jr., Vassell picks it up all the way down. Scoop layup, can't get it to go, but that's because he was fouled by Amen Thompson. It's going to send Vassell to the foul line for 2 free throws. A great job from Vassell to jump that passing lane and get the steal. Chris Kahn said, no offense to the Hall of Famers, but they're the reason why ball hog is a thing. They are not, brother. That is a natural human thing to do in a team sport. Give the ball to the best player on the court. It's literally been alive as long as team sports have been a thing. It has nothing to do with any of the NBA Hall of Famers. David House Jr. said, good game, Bulls Bucks. I bet. We're going to check in on it. Vassell at the foul line. Knocks down both free throws. 7-point game. They go into the half for the Spurs, and it's a single-digit game, and it's 7 or 5. That's a big win for them. Thompson, good denial defense from Harrison Barnes there. And they call the offensive foul on Durant. Barnes doing a great job, doing exactly to Durant what the Rockets have been doing to Wembanyama all night. Giving them a taste of their own medicine. Durant, frustrated, pushes off violently on Harrison Barnes, enough for the officials to see and call the foul. Freedom 208, what's up, Freedom? I was going to go to the game tonight, but my SNAP benefits did not get refunded, so I had to cancel. I don't think that's how that works, my brother. Vassell has it up top. Gets it over to Wemby. Wemby gets it over to Castle. Castle along the baseline, goes up strong, gets the finish through the Şengün contact, who went straight up to contest him at the rim. Vassell's athleticism just allowed him to hang in the air just a split second longer, knocking it back to 5 here. Under a minute to go. Thompson up top, crosses over to his left, now crossing over to his right, down the lane, kicks it out to nobody, and now the Spurs defense are getting into it. Ooh. David Hodge Jr. said Emirates Cup night. We should be in store for a lot of really good games here. Oh my goodness, on the replay on the Castle finish, Şengün had his hand on the ball, but again, Castle's ability to hang in the air just another second longer allowed him to fight through that contact and get the finish anyway. Chris Content, I got $500 on the Spurs. A lot of money, my brother. Castle bringing it down. Gets it over to Vassell, back to Castle. Castle coming to his left, driving it down. Tries to kick it out to Wemby. Does get it out to Wemby. Wemby at the foul line, little fall-away jumper off the back rim. Bounces on the rim a couple of times. Adams knocks it back in the air. Loose ball. Barnes picks it up. Out to Vassell. A three. Vassell gets it to go, and it's a 2-point game. And here come the Spurs with 26 seconds to go. Şengün has it on the left wing, being guarded by Castle. Şengün going to back him down. This is a great decision to take Wembanyama off of Şengün to allow Wembanyama to play off-ball more defense. To get it out, East in the right corner three. Hit one previously, misses that one. Fight for the rebound. Johnson isn't able to save it. As it's out of bounds off of Johnson. Justice Dad said, Spurs fan might be top 3 in the NBA. I don't know about that. They're good. And the Rockets throw it away. Castle picks it off. He's got one man to beat. Goes all the way. And one for Steph Castle. He could give the Spurs the lead with 1 second to go. And just when it looked like the Spurs might be down and out and the Rockets had all the momentum, built up an 11-point lead, Spurs couldn't find any offense. Here they are, tied at 50 with the ability to go up by 1 with 1 second to go before halftime. What a great end to the first half for the Spurs here. Castle does knock down the one free throw, giving them a 1-point lead. Now they've got to play defense for a second, and Şengün can't even get the three-quarters court heave off as Castle says, I'm not even giving you the chance to knock down a three-quarters court heave. Not even giving you a chance to get the shot off. Not taking my chances. I'm blocking that shot. 1 second left. Probably doesn't even get it off in time. It doesn't matter. I'm blocking the shot anyway. Spurs up by 1. Thanks to all of the contributions from all the Spurs. Castle, including Castle. Castle had a big end to that half there. Castle. Vassell, a big steal and finish on the other end, or foul where he got to the foul line. Wembanyama finding the range a little bit from the mid-range there. The defense ticking up, causing turnover after turnover from the Rockets. You got Şengün walking around a lot with his palms facing up, and when the palms start facing up, you know you're not in for a good night. Justice's dad says Spurs Arena doesn't have an organ, but their fans stay with the game. They do. The fans are good. You're right about that. I just don't know about top 5. I don't know about top 5. There's a lot of good fan bases. Robin said he'd getting 200 points tonight. We are at halftime. We are going to go around the league. I can't wait for it personally. A good night. A good night. Before we do that, let's look at the box scores real quick. We'll just run down it. We'll start with the Spurs because they do have the lead. 11 for Barnes. Started the game 3 for 3 from three-point range, and when the Spurs were really struggling to find offense, Barnes was a bit of a savior for them. Champagny also knocked down a 3. Wemby with only 4 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, also the 3 turnovers. All 3 turnovers in the first quarter. Did a much better job in the second quarter of not trying to force things too much. Vassell up to 9 points. He's knocked down 2 threes, gotten to the foul line a couple of times. Castle with 8 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, doing a little bit of everything. 2 steals and a block for Steph Castle. Really stepped up to end the first half there. Dog catcher said Spurs were all like, remember the Alamo, Houston, and Bam back in it. True. These guys, they got no quit in them. Extremely well coached. We know this. Even with the loss of Greg Popovich, we know Greg Popovich is still around. And Mitch Johnson's no slouch. He's been learning on the Greg Popovich for a long time. He's ready to go. Off the bench, Keldon Johnson has been impactful. He's got 6 points, doing a good job of 1, playing defense, 2, rebounding, and 3, really putting pressure on the Rockets' defense. His physicality and his size is a good matchup for the Rockets, where I think everybody else is either a little too slender or a little too small to really have an impact on this Rockets team right now, both offensively and defensively. As far as the Rockets go, Reed Sheppard had 10 points off the bench. He knocked down 2 threes. He was really impactful offensively, not as much defensively, but when you're as good offensively as he was tonight, that's the way it kind of shakes down. Tari Eason with only 5 points so far here. Thompson with 8. Josh Okogie with 9. Alperen Sengun with 6. Jabari Smith Jr. with 3. Kevin Durant with 9. Egalitarian scoring for the Rockets, just not enough of it. Overall, from the field, they're shooting 42.9%. They're 18 of 42. They're 7 for 14 from three-point range. So the three-point shots are still going down. Just a very low volume for the Rockets. 14 three-point attempts in a half is pretty low volume. The Spurs, 8 for 23 from three-point range. They're 40% from the field. Again, they struggled offensively, but they made enough defensive stops and got enough scores in order to get that 1-point lead going into the half here. So let's go around the league. How's the league shaking out right now? We're going to start with do this. Can do that. That's a little bit better. And I'll stand over here. We're going to start with Celtics Magic. As I do this real quick, hold on. There we go. We're going to start with Celtics Magic. 4 for 5 on the season for the Celtics, 3 for 5 on the season for the Magic. A really slow start for the Magic. The Celtics knew they were going to be up and down and hover around 500 the majority of the year. Chi-Chi, what's up, Chi-Chi? But the Magic off to a really slow start after a big Desmond Bane trade in the offseason. They're leading the Celtics by 5. The last time we checked in on this game, they were up by double digits. So Celtics doing a good job of battling back. Magic not doing a great job of putting them out of their misery so far here tonight. But we know the Celtics, even with all the injuries, even with all of the players leaving, still have the heart of a champion for sure. Gigi said, I've been a Knicks fan for decades, not 1 or 2, but 3. Why couldn't they put a team together with young, exciting talent like these other crappy teams? Because they were being mismanaged, my brother. They were being mismanaged. That is why. It's a very simple answer. They weren't being managed very well at all. We go over to the Cavs Wizards, and the Cavs are putting the beat down on the Wizards. Cavs look like they've really started to figure some things out. They're going to jump to 6-3 on the season. Raptors Hawks should be a good game. The Hawks are still without Trae Young, and yet they're leading the Raptors by 9. Both of these teams sitting at 500 at 4-4. Pistons going up against the lowly Nets, although the Nets maybe not so lowly, hanging around here against the vaunted Detroit Pistons, who are now 6-2 on the season. Pretty solid start for the Detroit Pistons. We're obviously tuning in for Rocket Spurs here tonight. You get over to the Heat just beating down on the Hornets. My goodness, what is that? A 26-point lead for the Miami Heat? My goodness, Charlotte, what are you doing? I do know Charlotte is without LaMelo Ball, but 53 points for the Heat. Oh my goodness, Charlotte, try a little bit to play some defense. I mean, the Hornets put up 33 points in the first quarter, and they're down by 20 after the 1. That's disgraceful. That's disgraceful. The Mavericks are taking on the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies are being down on the Mavericks. Jeez Louise. Blowout City. Blowout City. Cooper Flag is 3 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, and a turnover. 1 for 3 from the field. I mean, they're just not doing anything to get Cooper Flag easy baskets whatsoever, and it's pretty sad to see. Bulls Bucks should be a good game here tonight. We take a look at this box score real quick. Ryan Rollins versus Josh Giddey should be an interesting battle here tonight. 6.6 assists for Josh Giddey, only with 1 rebound. Buzelis with 11, though. We get down to the Bucks. Giannis with 9, Turner with 8. Ryan Rollins with 5. Off the bench, Kuzma with 5. Cole Anthony with 5. They got a lot. Robin said, no Bam, no Hero. I mean, it is Charlotte, but that is impressive with no Bam and no Hero. You know, maybe we should look at that box score real quick. Because who is putting... I know Jaime Jaquez is playing extremely well. I know Norman Powell is obviously playing well. But who's getting... Andrew Wiggins, okay. 6 for 7 from the field. 3 for 4 from three-point range. Norman Powell, 2 for 4 from 3. Davion Mitchell, Pell Larson, 3 for 4, respectively. Just that's it. 1 turnover is a story for the Heat. Oof. Jaquez was 7 off the bench. Jovic was 6 off the bench. Overall, as a team, they're 25 or 39 from the field and 11 for 19 from 3. That's really despicable if you're a Hornets fan. Like, you really just can't allow that. That's really bad. Bulls Bucks is probably the other most intriguing game of the night, right? Am I missing something? I mean, Pistons Nets, you'd have to think the Pistons are going to eventually pull away in that one. Hawks up by 9 on the Raptors at halftime. Cavs Wizards over already. Celtics Magic is interesting. I mean, the Celtics making it interesting. It's 84-80 at the end of the third quarter there. You got Jazz Timberwolves going off right now. The Timberwolves beating down on the Jazz. They needed a bounce-back victory after being taken down by the Knicks. They're up by 25 on the Jazz. The Jazz now without Walker Kessler for the remainder of the season, which is going to just down their maybe possible hope that they could get to a play-in spot or at least battle for a play-in spot. At some point, you got to start winning if you're the Jazz. It's getting bad out there. How many seasons in a row are they going to continue to tank and not be rewarded for it? Thank God we're not rewarding tanking teams anymore. Markkanen with 6, 2 for 8 from the field. He just had a 50-point game this year. Only 6 points so far here tonight. Nothing really working out for them. Ace Bailey in 7 minutes, 0 for 4. As for the Timberwolves, taking out their anger from a beatdown from the Knicks the other night. Edwards with 14 in 9 minutes. McDaniels with 11. Randall with 11. Whew. DiVincenzo did not score in his 11 minutes. Foon Pei said that Giddey Boy can explode for no reason. He is good, man. He is taking a leap here. He is off to a leap. And we got 2 games yet to tip off. They tip off later tonight at 10. Just as Dad said, shooting 70% from the Heat too. Yeah, I mean they're just facing no punchback from the Hornets here. Maybe a little bit here to start the second quarter so far is 14-11 after a 33-53 first quarter. But after this first quarter, it seems like you already lost the game. We'll see how that plays out, but Miami's been pretty solid so far this year. Still at 500 at 4-4. Just as that said, Prime has Dirk, Nash, Blake on the telecast, and Haslam. Don't leave out Haslam. Yeah, I think it's solid. I love Blake Griffin. I think he's really smart. I think he's really articulate. I think he really knows the game. He knows it as both a role player and as a superstar. He knows it as a first overall pick and as a guy who people maybe look down on as somebody who wasn't fulfilling his full potential. Blake is very funny. Blake is a stand-up comedian. He's a stand-up comedian. He's very funny as well. I think he's really smart. I'm a big fan of Blake Griffin. I think he has the chance to be, he's not Barkley. Nobody's ever going to be Barkley, but he has a chance to be, like, in a sense, this generation's Barkley. He's really funny and he's really smart and he knows what he's talking about. With also him having only retired a couple of years ago, he's really connected to modern basketball and understands what teams are trying to do, why they're trying to do it, how defenses play, adjustments guys are making and whatnot. Robin said, I love Blake Griffin on the Clippers. I did. I was always a fan of his game as well, but I was more so saying I love Blake Griffin in his post career so far. I think everything he's doing, I'm like, it's cool. Cool dude. Judge's dad said Knicks looking to shoot 80% on Sunday versus the Nets. I hope it's just a beatdown against the Nets. No Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas will be out, which doesn't bode particularly well because we know the Knicks can at times maybe play down to their competition a little bit. Hopefully Mike Brown will have them ready against the crosstown rivals and we can get a nice easy victory against them on Sunday. Gigi said, Heat players are on Vegas payroll. They messed up my 7-leg parlay waiting on them to cash at plus 9.5, down 6 with 59 seconds to go, and they started running the ball over, ended up losing by 10 points, 112 to 122. Brother, that is the nature of betting, my man. That is the nature of putting bets on a game. Kay Hazy said, does he watch the game? Blake Griffin? You talking about Blake Griffin? Does he watch the game? He is the on the coverage for Amazon Prime. He's part of their like pregame, halftime show, postgame show telecast. The panel is Taylor Rooks is the moderator with Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, Blake Griffin, and Udonis Haslem. I think it's too many players. I don't think you need Dirk. I'm just going to say, I don't think you need Dirk. I don't think he's really adding all that much. I don't think you need Dirk. I think Nash is really good. I mean, he's a guy he's got a podcast with LeBron and whatnot, so he's very comfortable talking and explaining the game already. It's something he already does. We know Blake Griffin's really good at it, and Udonis Haslem has worked with ESPN before, so again, he's also pretty comfortable talking and explaining things about basketball. Dirk is the one guy who I feel like seems a bit unnecessary right now, but we'll see how they figure it out. A 5-table group is a little too many guys. Okay, Hazy said maybe Dirk can have his own show. I mean, it's just, or maybe rotate them, right? Maybe rotate them. Maybe I don't know, but like there's only so much time in the halftime to have an opinion from Dirk, and then have an opinion from Nash, and then have an opinion from Blake, and then have an opinion from Haslam about how the first half went, and then talk about how to adjust it. Like, there's only so much time. That's 4 guys you have to get an opinion from, right? It's just too much going on. And then to do like a segment where like, hey, let's go on to that virtual court thing they have, and then let's talk about what's working, what's not working, what plays are they running, how it's working, how they can adjust it. Right? So you just a lot of guys on the panel. Boom Pei said, yeah, that's way too many opinions. I think so. I agree with you. I think so. Gigi said, I'm so confident on Sunday that I'm putting my mortgage down on the Knicks. Brother, don't do that, because that's when the Knicks let us down most often. I'm confident with the Knicks as well, but not that confident. Definitely not that confident. Here we go. Start of the third quarter. We're already going to jump right into it. Here we go. Şengün sprays it out to Okogie. Okogie pump fakes, driving it down. Back to Şengün at the foul line. Pump fakes, goes right into Wembanyama. Throws up the righty hook. Can't get it to go down. Wembanyama snatches the rebound. And the Spurs are off and running. They currently hold the 1-point lead. Barnes on the left wing being guarded by Durant. Gets it over to Castle. Catches. Pump fakes. coming to his left. Now gets it over to Wemby. Wemby driving it down right into the chest, tries to kick it out the last second. Durant comes over and knocks it away. Here come the Rockets pushing the other way. Jabari Smith Jr. gets nice, easy layup out on the fast break. Had one man to beat. Vassell has it on the left wing, being guarded by Okogie. They're now going to put Jabari Smith Jr. on Wembanyama, switching up the matchup. Quickly swing it out and around. Champagnie, a right wing three. Got it to go over Thompson. And there's the ball movement off the double team from Wemby. Forced to kick it out. Swings it around the perimeter. Finds an open man from three. Okogie has it up top, being guarded by Champagnie. That is why Champagnie's in the starting lineup for the Spurs. Helps space the court as much as possible for Wemby. They get it over to Şengün. He's going to look to attack Wembanyama. They come down, dig down. Champagnie, great double team, comes up with the steal. Castle out on the fast break. Gets it over to Vassell in transition for a three. And Vassell gets it to go. Back-to-back threes for the Spurs. Back up by 5 now for the Spurs. Building a ton of momentum, starting with their defense. Defense leading the offense for the Spurs. Thompson down the lane, low fall-away mid-range jumper. Can't get it to go. Castle with the rebound. He's going to push it the other way. Castle has it up top, putting his head down, attacking, in and out dribble, right past Thompson, in the lane, forced to kick it out, good recovery from Thompson. They swing it around to Wemby, now over to Vassell. Vassell coming to his right. Now coming to his left off the Wemby screen. Shovels it inside the Wemby. Big two-handed slam over Durant, who came over way too late. Durant thought Wemby maybe was going to come down with it, set his feet and go up for dunk. Wemby just caught it, rose, and dunked it down. That's what happens when you're about 8'7" right there. Durant has it up top, coming to his right up the Şengün screen. Barnes sticking with him. Now coming to his right. Picks up his handle. Gets it over to Şengün. Hands it back off to Durant. Coming to his left. Foul line. Pull-up jumper. A go-to his entire career. Continues to be a go-to as he knocks it down right there. 9:30 to go here in the third quarter. 59-54. Spurs holding on to a 5-point lead. Their largest lead of the game has been 7. Barnes gets it over to Wemby. Gets it over to Champagnie. Out on the perimeter. Pump fakes. Gets it back to Barnes. Barnes coming to his right. Step back for a deep three with the shot clock running down. Oh my goodness, 3 straight threes for the Spurs and a Wemby dunk they threw in there. Another one on a deep step back 30-foot three. As the Spurs come up with another steal, and then they throw right back away. Okogie dives for it. Nope, saves it into Wemby. Spurs have numbers to get over to Champagnie. A pull-up three. Airballs it. A little bit of a heat check. Spurs up by 8 here. Under 9 minutes to go. Durant has it up top, being guarded by Barnes. Coming to his left off the Şengün screen. Crosses over on Wemby. Down the lane. Oh my goodness! Durant turning back the clock. Where did that come from? Crossover. Back to his right hand, snaking the screen. Big two-handed slam in the middle of the lane. Castle crosses over to his left, spins to his right. Low fall-away jumper in the paint. Can't get it to go, fight for the rebound. And Champagnie baits Şengün into a foul, fighting for the loose ball. Fouling Şengün down low. Gigi said, Chef, going back to my original comment, I believe the guys they gave up for Melo could have given us excitement we wanted. Damn you, Melo. I don't think so. Gallinari, Wilson Chandler, those were the young guys they gave up in the trade. Timofey Mozgov. What did they do in their careers? They're fine, solid, average role players. Maybe a little bit above that. They weren't going to give you the excitement you needed, brother. They cashed in the right exact time. By the way, Champagnie cuts to the rim. Nice backdoor pass to Champagnie as he slipped the screen. Gets fouled, going to the rim. He's at the foul line for 2 free throws here. Champagnie knocks down the first free throw. He's got one more coming. Şengün to the bench and a 4th foul on him. Not a good night tonight for Alperen Şengün. K. Hazy, what's up, K. Hazy? Durantula rising up for the two-handed rim rattle. I feel like I haven't seen Durant be that explosive since his OKC days. Thompson bringing it down after Champagnie knocked down both free throws. It's back to an 8-point game here, the largest lead of the game for the Spurs. Durant coming to his left, leans in, draws the foul. Can't get the shot to go. But he should go to the foul line for 2 free throws here. 8:14 to go here in the third quarter. Durant at the foul line for 2 free throws. Durant, a knockdown free throw shooter for his entire career, knocks the first one down. Durant knocks down both. Castle bringing it down. Hands it off for Wemby coming to his right. Wemby tries to get it over to Castle. Ball knocked into the backcourt. Castle has to go all the way back to the other foul line to pick it up. He's going to bring it down now. Shot clock down to 10. They get it back to Wemby. He's going to quickly go. Pump fake, steps through. Can't knock down the lefty layup, but that's because they call a foul on the Rockets. It's going to send Wemby to the foul line for 2 free throws. Maybe like he lifted that pivot foot and traveled with it, but he gets the foul call instead, and he'll be at the foul line for 2. Not a ton of arguing from the Rockets either. So Wemby's at the foul line for 2 free throws. First free throws of the night. Really struggled getting anything to go inside the paint or anything close to the basket, having to settle for a ton of jump shots tonight. Knocks that one down. This time he caught it and went immediately. Didn't look to face up. Didn't look to back him down. Just caught it, turned, and went right to the rim. Got 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. You're going to get a lot more scoring out of Wembanyama in the second half here if they want to hold off the Rockets here tonight. Back up by 8. Both teams trading baskets here. Under 8 to go here in the third. Showing good pressure in the backcourt. They get it over to Jabari Smith. The Rockets bringing it down. Hands it off to Eason. Eason up top to Thompson. Thompson coming to his right. Putting his head down. Euro stepping. Attacking. Gets to the rim. Gets swatted at the rim by Wembanyama. Pins it at the backboard. Wemby hit ahead to Champagnie, drives all the way to the rim, gets chased down, blocked by Jabari, but he was standing on the out-of-bounds line when he saved it inside to his teammate. Ball staying with the Spurs. One chase down block for another. Anything you can do, I can do better. They get it into Wemby. Wemby along the right baseline. They show the double. He spins away from it along the baseline, hits the front of the rim. It gets a nice friendly bounce. Wembanyama gives the Spurs a 10-point lead here, their first double-digit lead of the night, 68-58. And again, applying some full-court pressure in the backcourt, they get it over to Eason in the right corner and splashes another 3. Maybe that Eason three-point shooting is for real because he is comfortable, confident, and the shooting stroke looks fantastic right now for Tari Eason, his second made 3 of the night. Castle has it, attacking, stops, kicks it out. Champagnie's been feeling it all night. And he continues to feel it as he knocks down a left wing 3 there. Anything you can do, I can do better. 3 for 3, back up by 10, 71-61, and we're approaching the halfway point of the third quarter here. Durant has it up top, cross-court pass to Jabari, extra pass to Okogie. They'll give it up from him. But he continues to make him pay. Another 3 goes down, and now the 3-point shots are flying. Rockets back within 7 off the left corner 3 from Okogie. Castle has it up top, being guarded by Thompson. Coming to his left off a Wemby screen. They just throw it over the top to Wemby, and he gets fouled by Thompson. Wemby starting to get a go here in the third quarter. Some nice adjustments from the Spurs. Some nice adjustments from his mentality in order to get downhill faster. Or to get something closer towards the basket. Also, it's also nicer when some of the jump shots go down as well. He's knocked down 2 jump shots here in the third quarter so far. Wemby now sitting with 10.6 boards, 3 assists. Still going to need a little bit more out of him. Still going to need a little bit more out of Wemby. But 10 points from him, 12 points for Vassell, 11 points for Champagnie. He was having a pretty damn fantastic night so far here tonight. He's 3 for 7 from three-point range. They're going to need his shooting. Barnes also going to need his shooting, 4 for 6 from three-point range from him. He's up to 14. He's the leading scorer tonight for the Spurs. The leading scorer overall in the game is Durant with 15, but he's 5 for 11 from the field. Not super efficient for Kevin Durant so far. Okogie with 12. He's knocked down 2 threes. He's 4 for 5 from the field. He's the guy that the Spurs defense and most NBA defenses will allow to take as many shots as possible. One, because they know Okogie would love to take a lot of shots. He's not shy about putting the ball up. But also, it's necessarily not the best role for him, obviously. More of a defensive player and an opportunistic offensive player. Maka Salong. What's up, Maka Salong? Go Spurs. Got a big Spurs fan in the chat. Shout out to you. Spurs playing very well, but Rockets fighting back, knocking down some threes, keeping themselves hanging around. If you want to beat this Rockets team, you either got to put them away for good and build a big lead, or, obviously very difficult, or what you can do is keep them arm's length away and rely on your go-to guy to beat their go-to guy, which is not the best way to beat the Rockets. Obviously easier said than done. They're going to win a lot of games this year, the Rockets. But when you have Kevin Durant going up against whatever closer you have, not the best way to try and win a basketball game, right? So if the Spurs can keep the Rockets at bay long enough to have the time run out on them, we're almost halfway through this third quarter here. Spurs currently holding a 7-point lead. They're now interviewing De'Aaron Fox, talking about his upcoming season debut here with the Spurs. Here we go, checking back in. And the Spurs will inbound it. Johnson is in the game now for Wembenyama. Wembenyama gets a breather. Castle has it up top. Gets it over to Vassell. Vassell on the left wing being guarded by Jabari Smith Jr. One dribble pull-up three for him. Well short. He's Thompson with the rebound. Here comes Thompson pushing the other way. Up top to Durant. Almost turns it over. Durant able to catch it. Driving it down. Down low to Thompson. Thompson has it along the right baseline. Now over to Durant. Out by the three-point line on the left wing. They show double team. Durant throws it away. Great defense from the Spurs. Bad decision. The 3-on-1 fast break. Champagnie to the rim. Can't get the layup to go, but a foul on Okogie. Going to send Champagnie back to the foul line. Not taking no for an answer, saying, we'll go all the way to the rim for this layup. So Champagnie's back at the foul line for 2 free throws. Champagnie knocks down the first free throw. He's got one more coming. Can push at the 9. Which obviously is better than 7, but if you can keep it to as close as a 10-point lead as you can, for as long as you can, you put the pressure on the Rockets to continue to make shots to keep up with you. Durant bringing it down against Jeremy Sohan. Sohan a good defender. He's got a good body type to match up with Durant here. Durant has it up top. Picks up his handle, gets it over to Eason. Castle jumped the passing lane, trying to get the steal. They throw it down low to Thompson. Thompson along the right baseline against Sohan. Coming to his left, little fall away. Good contest, well short. Vassell had the rebound, ripped away by Johnson, by Jabari Smith Jr. Can't get it to go, fight for the rebound. And a loose ball foul on the Rockets. Foul on Steven Adams. And Steven Adams hanging over the back of Keldon Johnson there, jumping over the back of him. Greg, what's up, Greg? TMI, my brother, but whatever makes you happy. Keldon Johnson's at the foul line with just under 6 minutes to go here, past the halfway point, with just a little more than halfway through this third quarter. The Spurs are in the bonus. Johnson knocks down the first one, pushing them back up by 10. Şengünsen with the 4 fouls right now. Rockets in a little bit of trouble. Johnson gives them the largest lead of the night with 11. Is 11 the largest lead or is 12 the largest lead? Either way, 11-point lead is a nice solid lead for the Spurs here, who seemed like they were really struggling offensively, but now allowing their defense to lead their offense. Get it over to Jabari on the left wing, swings through to his right, got Champagnie on him, backing him down, stop, turn, pass fake, cross-court pass, Eason in the right corner three, gets that one to go down. Tari Eason, maybe he will be a 50% three-point shooter this season as he continues to not miss from three-point range. Back to 8. They get it over to Champagnie. Champagnie kicks it up top to Castle. Castle calling for a screen from Sohan. Coming to his left. Crosses over to his right. Down the lane. Leaves it off for Sohan. A nice pass. Good dig down from Eason. Sohan kicks it out. Keldon Johnson, a left corner three. Too strong, can't get it to go. Fight for the rebound. Thompson knocks the rebound over to himself. Now he's going to quickly push it the other way. Kicks it out to Jabari Smith Jr. Almost a bad pass. Jabari Smith Jr. able to save it. Now coming to his left. Good pressure from Castle. Up top to Durant, being guarded by Sohan. 10 seconds on the shot clock. 4:30 on the game clock. Durant has it up top. They bring a double team. Durant's got nowhere to go with it. Knocked out of his hands. He picks it back up, falling out of bounds. Gets it over to Adams. Adams shoves it over to Thompson, down low by himself, and he gets it to go down. Spurs extended way too far on that one. Trying to cause a turnover. Sometimes you just got to play some solid defense. Castle driving it down, leaves it off for Sohan. Sohan pulls it back out with Steven Adams standing in front of him. Didn't like that matchup, so now he kicks it out to Champagnie. Coming to his right after the Sohan screen. Driving it down. Throws a lob to Sohan. Catches, goes up. Can't get the layup to go down. Looking for a foul call. Not going to get it there. Durant driving it down. Leaves it off for Adams. Champagnie jumps the passing lane and knocks it away. Here comes Vassell. Home run pass to Sohan, who didn't get back all the way and gets full tackled by Amen Thompson. That might be a flagrant right there. That might be a flagrant right there. Thompson didn't really make a play on the ball. Just kind of bulldozed over Sohan. The refs are going to go look at it. Gotta go look at it. I think that might be a flagrant. Doesn't look like he makes a play on the ball. See if there's a follow-through or anything on the swipe down. Yeah. In slow motion, it doesn't look that bad. In full motion, it looked pretty bad. But in slow motion, it doesn't look that bad. I think you should watch that play more in full motion to get the full grasp of that foul. Not that bad. Thompson, was running full speed, trying to catch up to Sohan, trying to save the easy basket. Was swiping down, trying to get at the ball. I don't know. I could go either way on it. If they call it a common foul, I'm cool with that. If they call it a flagrant, I could see where they're coming from on it. Flagrant foul 1. I understand why they call it a flagrant foul 1. Pretty violent play, but not overly aggressive, right? Or actually, I should flip that. An overly aggressive play, but not particularly violent. That's how I would describe that. Boom Pei said, can they just get a warning and play on? They cannot. They cannot, brother. There are rules for a reason, my man. There are rules for a reason. Kay Hazy said Thompson just let his speed get away from him. Yeah. Right? He was just overly aggressive, but not particularly violent. He came down, slapped down, inadvertent hit to the face, ran him over as well. It's a flagrant. Right? Not that big of a deal. You get 2 free throws in the ball. It is what it is. Sohan knocks down the first free throw. Sohan knocks down the first one, knocks down the second one. Interesting that Jeremy Sohan is now shooting free throws with both hands again. When did that happen? I've not been privy as to when that happened. Sohan was very famous for shooting free throws with the one hand, trying to work on that form shooting, foul line. But clearly very comfortable with the form now. He's now shooting it with 2 hands. 3:50 to go. The Spurs get the ball back. They're back up by 8, and they can go back up by double digits here. Castle driving it down, keeps his handle alive, kicks it out. Vassell, left corner 3, hits the top of the backboard. Adams with the rebound. Shoves it over to Eason. Eason bringing it down. Eason on the left wing, trying to get it to Durant. They do get it to Durant, being guarded by Champagnie. They show a double team to Durant. Durant's got nowhere to go. Knocked out of Durant's hands by Sohan. They're going to say out of bounds off of the Spurs. Spurs very adamant. It was off of Durant. 3:30 to go. Wembanyama subs back in. Vassell to the bench. Champagnie to the bench. Fantastic minutes for Julian Champagnie. Kinahara, what's up, Kinahara? I missed a lot. Any big-time Wemby highlights? A couple of really nice blocks, but nothing particularly crazy. Shepherd has it on the left wing. And a foul on Sohan. Trying to push Durant as Durant was setting a screen. Trying to get Durant with the offensive. Trying to sneak that one in there. Yeah, nothing particularly crazy with Wemby tonight. As the Rockets throw it away, over the top, McLaughlin down, gets the layup to go over Shepherd. And more defense leading the offense for the Spurs, who in the half court, the Spurs have struggled offensively, but when they can get out and run, use their athletes, and an over the back as Tari Eason turns it over off some fantastic pressure from Steph Castle. And now the Spurs are getting the Rockets disjointed right now. Steph Castle leading the way with his defense. Kind of playing free safety right now for the Spurs. Double teaming, jumping passing lanes. McLaughlin coming to his left off the screen. Hangs in the air, leaves it off for Sohan. Sohan's got nowhere to go, and they hit Sohan with the travel. Mitch Johnson of the Spurs calls a time, or the Rockets call a timeout. But Mitch Johnson of the Spurs not very happy with that offensive play right there. Maybe not too happy with some of Sohan's offensive possessions here. Kinar said, yeah, Spo's house. I immediately thought, where was Rozier and his mob contacts at the time? He is in custody, is he not? Did he not get arrested? Is he not in custody? That's the first thing you thought about, Kinahara? Literally did not cross my mind one bit. First thing that crossed my mind was like, oh man, that sucks. And then I kept it moving. Spurs holding on to a 10-point lead. Wemby with 10, Castle with 8, Johnson with 8, Sohan with only 2, McLaughlin with 7 off the bench, which is solid. An assist for him, 6 assists for Castle. Getting De'Aaron Fox alongside Steph Castle is going to be really, really good for the Spurs. Man, are they going to be really good. Getting De'Aaron Fox back, eventually getting Dylan Harper back. You got Fox at the 1, Harper backing him up. You got Castle at the 2. You bring Vassell off the bench for Castle? And then you have Barnes at the 3, Champagnie at the 4, Wemby at the 5. You could have Cornette backing up Wemby. You have Keldon Johnson coming in, backing up as a wing player. You got Sohan coming in for Champagnie. Man. Kinar said, I don't know, I'm not so high on De'Aaron. I think they should trade him for a beefy power forward. They don't need a beefy power forward. They need fast players. They are a fast team, the Spurs. I mean, if they could, like, trade De'Aaron Fox for, like, Isaiah Stewart, I'm sure they would, but why would the Pistons do that? Boom Pay said, yeah, Chevy, you're seeing the future? I can see it. I'm looking into the future. The Spurs need a point guard desperately, though. Their half-court offense is rough. Their half-court offense has been very rough. They don't have a point guard out there. And if they're looking to make any kind of noise this year, I don't think you can rely on Dylan Harper to be your starter at point guard here this season. Maybe you can. Who knows? But, you know, Dylan Harper has just been solid off the bench for them as a point guard. But, man, they need a point guard. And he could just be a bridge point guard, right? He could just be a bridge point guard as Dylan Harper continues to learn, and then they can look to trade him down the line. But as of right now, they need a point guard, and De'Aaron Fox is for sure a point guard. I said, okay, imagine they had Dennis Rodman, like maybe a Toumani Camara. Well, Toumani Camara is not a beefy power forward. He's a wing player who's a good, solid perimeter defender. Right? In essence, Sochan, who just came back from injury, is essentially their Toumani Camara. Not as good of a defender as Camara overall, not as versatile as him, and not as good as an offensive player either, but he's essentially their power forward. Isaiah Gardner with the Isaiah. The Spurs are spanking them? Not really. I mean, they are starting to take it to him now, but the Rockets at one point were up by 12. Now the Spurs up by 10, a 20-point change. Durant knocks down the mid-range jumper and gets fouled by Sochan. Sochan still working his way back after making a season debut the other day. Hasn't looked great here tonight guarding Durant. They've had far more success with Champagnie on Durant, or even a Vassell on Durant. Sochan, not so much here tonight. I don't know if Sochan's a part of their future plans, man. I don't know. I'm going to give him some time to come back from the injury and readjust, but he's been pretty rough overall tonight, both offensively and defensively. Durant knocks down the three-point play, 72-79 now, 7-point game. McLaughlin has it up top, 2:30 to go. And the Rockets are back into a zone here with Thompson and Reed up top, 2-3 zone for the Rockets. Keldon Johnson crosses over to his left, stops, turns, spins, kicks it out to Barnes. Barnes been on fire all night long, and he continues to be on fire. A right corner three for Harrison Barnes. Anything you can do, I can do better. Give me those 3 points right back. Thompson trying to get it to Şengün. They do get it to Şengün, trying to pick on Sochan a little bit here, because now Sochan is guarding Şengün in the post. One-legged fall away, foul line jumper, can't get it to go. Wemby rips away a rebound, but gets tied up by Thompson. It's going to be a jump ball. Wemby likely to win the tip easily, but Thompson with like a 97-inch vertical, maybe he can get high enough to steal this tip here. Jose NYC, what's up, Jose? Keenan Hart said an Andre Iguodala type. Well, Andre Iguodala is a Hall of Fame player, so yes, if they could add a Hall of Fame player for De'Aaron Fox, I'm sure they would very much like to do that. Wembanyama and the Spurs do win the tip. Hit ahead to Wemby, out on the break. Euro steps down the lane, gets fouled. He's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws. And turning their defense to offense. Again, they don't want to play a half-court game here. They want to get out and run. Their half-court game has been pretty bad all night long. And so the adjustment they made, just push. Just put your head down, go to the rim, and make a play. Keenan Hart said, Harrison Barnes has really been hitting this season? Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Boom Pay said, if you were Mitch, would you force Wemby to learn the skyhook? If I were Mitch? Oh, the coach Mitch. Call him coach. Call him the Spurs coach, Mitch Johnson. Would I force Wemby to learn the skyhook? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't force him to learn skyhook. Skyhook's a very difficult move to learn, which is why nobody's taking the time to do it. Thompson, a little foul line, pull-up jumper, can't get it to go. Şengün with the offensive rebound, he can't get it to go. And then a foul down low on Wembanyama as Adams grabbed the offensive rebound. Isaiah Gardner said Fox over Ja. Yeah. Fox, he's way more consistent than John Moran has been. I said, well, OG would be perfect for them too. But we ain't giving them up. Yeah, man. Just get them a super versatile wing who can do a little bit of everything and be a fantastic offensive player as well, in combination with being one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. Yeah, just go get that guy. Just go get a guy like that. Back and forth affair here, 84-74. Over the top pass to Wemby at the foul line. Little fall away mid-range jumper off glass. Can't get it to go over Durant. Adams with the rebound. Here comes Shepherd. The Rockets are out there with Shepherd, Şengün, Adams, Durant, and Thompson. As Reed Shepherd has it up top, coming to his left off an Adams screen, gets to the foul line, bounce pass to Adams to the rim, gets the and one over Wemby. Steven Adams, who knew he still was able to finish like that? The Spurs are out there with Barnes, Wemby, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, and Jordan McLaughlin. I said Wemby didn't need the skyhook. Kareem only learned it because they forbade him from dunking early in his career. Otherwise, he would have been dunking. It would have been way better than the skyhook. Well, it benefited him later in his career because he was able to play so long because he had an unstoppable go-to move that allowed him to avoid contact. Keldon Johnson, middle of the lane, kicks it back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin pump fakes down the lane, puts up the floater off glass, can't get it to go. McLaughlin, the rebound bounces right back to him, and he lays it up and in. As everybody was so interested in boxing out Wemby, they forgot about McLaughlin, and he grabbed his own offensive rebound and put it back up and in. Cross-court pass. Easton up top to Şengün. Şengün driving it down against Sohan. Sohan up top, pass fake, hands it off to Durant. Coming to his right. Durant down the lane, puts up the floater. Got it to go. Wembanyama hit the floor. Durant saw the lane open up. Said, I don't have to worry about the shot blocker. I'm going down there, knocking down the floater. 30 seconds to go. Forgot to restart the timer. McLaughlin has it on the left wing. The Rockets still in that 2-3 zone. Get it out to Wemby. Back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin tries to get it over to Harrison Barnes. A bad pass from McLaughlin. Now they get it over to Durant. Only a 7-point game. Durant bringing it down. Durant, they show double team over to Reed. Reed, Shepard gets it over to Şengün. He hesitates from three. Now he puts it up and he knocks it down at the buzzer. And the Rockets mounting a little bit of a comeback to get it back to 4 here. Not out of the weeds for the Spurs. K. Hazy said, I think most teams are going to be missing a few parts with the CBA. And I think that's the whole point, K. Hazy. And I think that's the whole point that the league wanted. I think they wanted to get away from the one dominant team that was able to put together a perfect roster. Right? I think they wanted to get away with that. Because if you are able to put together a perfect roster, then invariably that means that the other teams weren't able to acquire the players that allowed you to do that. And so you end up sitting at the mountaintop all by yourself. I think they want a couple of teams at the top, a couple of teams in the middle that could challenge them, and then a couple of teams battling it out down below them. I think that's where the league wants it right now. And I kind of think that's where we are for the most part, although the Thunder did find a way to sit at the top all by themselves as of right now. But we'll see how the season plays out. I said Steven Adams still so underrated. Yeah, I would say underrated just because I think plenty of teams could have had him this offseason. Maybe he really wanted to stay with the Rockets, but either way, a bunch of teams could have had him, and he's still one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. And he's not the best offensive rebounder because we know who that is. But I don't even got to say his name. We know who that is. But yeah, still one of the best, most dominant rebounders in the game. Even if he can only give you limited minutes and has a bad injury history. It's part of the reason why teams don't go out of the way to acquire a guy like Steven Adams. I think everybody knows the impact he can have, but teams aren't going to go out of the way to acquire a guy who's older in his career now, injury-riddled, and can't play as much as he used to, right? The athleticism is pretty much gone, so the offense isn't necessarily there the way it used to be. Boom Pay said Steven Adams will go out of his way to ensure player safety. The guy does like to protect his teammates. Also another reason why teams should go out and acquire Steven Adams. Do love that about him. Keenan Hart said Steven Adams so similar in many respects to our Mitchie. Injuries, limited offense, terrible free throws. Yeah. It is an archetype of player that has been around for forever. And Steven Adams has kind of passed the baton over to Mitchell Robinson. Okay, he's in Minnesota taking out their MSG frustration on the lowly Jazz. Yeah, we went over the box scores, or we went around the league earlier, K. Hazy, and we at halftime, and we did notice that the Timberwolves are doing exactly what you said, taking out their frustrations on the Knicks' loss out on the Jazz here tonight. But the next stoppage in play, the next full timeout we get, we will go around the league again and check the box scores again. But here we go. Start of the fourth quarter. Throw 12 minutes back up on the clock. And here we go. NBA Cup game takes on a little bit more significance than usual. Castle has it up top as the Spurs hold a 4-point lead to start the fourth. They swing it around to Johnson, back up top to Castle. They're going to dare him to shoot. He puts it up straight away. Wide right, can't get it to go, barely grazed the rim, but they save it over to Barnes. Cross-court pass to Champagnie. He's open for three. He's been on fire all night, and he continues to stay on fire as he knocks it down, gets that Şengün end of third quarter three right back to start the fourth here. Back up by 7. They get it over to Eason, now over to Thompson. They come out with Thompson, Eason, Shepherd, gets open out of the left corner. Great play, but he can't get the corner three to go. The Rockets come out with Eason, Thompson, Şengün, Adams, and Shepherd. The Spurs come out with Castle. Champagnie gets open on the right corner yet again. That time he can't get it to go. Johnson with the rebound. Back out to Champagnie. He's going to try it again. Can't get that one to go. Şengün with the rebound, and now here come the Rockets pushing the other way. Thompson has it up top. Gets it out to Şengün. He's going to fire a three, no hesitation. Can't get that one to go. Champagnie with the rebound. The Spurs are out there with Castle, Johnson, Champagnie, Wembanyama, and Harrison Barnes. Castle coming off of Harrison Barnes' screen, up top to Barnes. No hesitation, straight away three. He's open. Almost wedgied it, can't get it to go. Eason, good box out on Wemby. Adams able to grab the rebound. Now here comes Shepherd. Shepherd has it up top, being guarded by Castle. Castle's defensive pressure has been fantastic here tonight, but they give Reed Shepherd an open enough space. Looked like the Spurs were unsure of whether or not they wanted to be in zone or not. And it allowed Reed Shepherd just enough airspace to get the three-point shot off. Champagnie on the left wing, up top to Castle, back to Champagnie. Champagnie over to Wembanyama, foul line jumper. In and out, can't get it to go. Johnson with the offensive rebound, over to Wemby, down the lane, gets the scoop layup to go. And when the 7'10" alien comes barreling down the middle of the lane, you just kind of give him the layup. Shepherd coming to his right off a Şengün screen. Stops, kicks it over to Eason, back to Shepherd. Shepherd up to 13 points here tonight. Pretty good offensive game from him. Shepherd down the lane, kicks it out to Amin Thompson. They're going to dare him to continue to shoot threes here tonight. He's knocked down 2 of them, but has missed his last 2. Castle over to Barnes. Barnes jab step, down the lane. Hangs in the air, tries to kick it over to Johnson at the last second. Knocked away. Here comes Eason pushing the other way. He's got a lane of the rim, goes up, kicks it out the last second to Thompson. Thompson up top to Shepherd. Pass was off. Shepherd has to go to the half court to recover it. Now gets it over to Şengün in the mid post, being guarded by Barnes. High post, actually. Now backing his way down to the foul line. Little turn, puts up the jumper at the foul line over Barnes. Got it to go. Back to a 4-point game. Now we're trading baskets. But it's a much closer game now. Castle weaving his way off a Wembanyama screen. Tries to get it up top to Champagnie. And the whistle was blown. Now they call a foul. Should have been a Castle turnover, but they bail him out with the Reed Shepherd foul call there. They get into Wembanyama, middle of the lane. Euro steps down, right past Steven Adams, and gets the lefty layup to go. And again, trading baskets, back up by 6 here. Under 9 to go. Shepherd has it up top, being guarded by Castle. Crosses over to his right. Up top, Adams catches, pump fakes against Wemby. Tries to put up the hook. Wemby just puts a hand up and blocks it. Here comes here comes Castle, pushing ahead over to Wemby. Wemby pump fakes over to Johnson, and the Spurs are going to slow it down. Try to look for a good shot here. Johnson out of the right corner, attacking Şengün off the bounce. Pump fake, spins, leaves it off. Castle leans in, off glass, got it to go. Steph Castle. Big shot, big play there for the Spurs in the half court. Great pass from Keldon Johnson, who's been pretty fantastic tonight off the bench for the Spurs. We'll see if he closes it out here tonight. 8:20 to go. Shepherd has it up top against Castle, driving it down. Ball knocked out of his hands. And before it ended up being a turnover, because I think Reed Shepherd would have been the one to kick it out of bounds, Ime Udoka saves the possession by calling the timeout there. And we're going to get a full timeout with the Spurs holding on to an 8-point lead right now, 95-87. R said Amin Thompson is basically a jumper away from being Scottie Pippen. A lot has been said about this guy being a jumper away from being this guy. And the hard part about that is, actually making the jumper. Not as easy a lot of people like to think about just developing a jumper. The mechanics are not there for Amin Thompson right now. Can he get there? Yeah, sure. Anybody can get there, really. But mechanics are not there. What games have wrapped up so far tonight? The Magic did end up beating the Celtics by 13. A little bit of a run there at the end to push that lead to double digits. Cavs just absolutely whooped the Wizards up and down the court. Put up 148 on them. Scored 30-plus in every single quarter. Almost 40 in 3 of them. 39, 37, 33, and then 39 in the fourth. My goodness. Sarr with another nice game, though. 20 points, 4 blocks for him. Those are the only 2 games that have concluded so far. The Pistons have fully blown the game open against the Nets. They were close at halftime. I think it was a 4-point game at halftime. In the second half, the Pistons have fully blown the game open. The Pistons continue to be good. They're going to jump to 7-2 now. The Nets are going to be without Cam Johnson moving forward for the next couple of weeks. Darnell, what's up, Darnell? Sorry I'm late. You're not late, brother. Never late. Never late. The Raptors up by 8 there against the Hawks. Hawks without Trae Young. Interesting. Hawks beat up on the Magic the other night, but losing to the Raptors here, both of these teams sitting at 500. So they're going to be battling it out all season long. They're going to be hovering around 500 for the most part. I expected more of the Hawks so far this season, but now they're without Trae Young, so maybe that's the excuse. I said MJ always had a sweet midi, but he did develop the 3 later on. No, he did not. Michael Jordan was never a reliable 3-point shooter. He had one season where he shot well from 3-point range. That was when the league was so bad at shooting threes that they decided to move the 3-point line further in. And everybody had a career year shooting threes. And they were like, oh, that was a mistake. Let's move it back. That was a mistake. Well, that was the only year Michael Jordan was an above-average 3-point shooter. What is this? The Hornets have come back to make it a 5-point game. The Heat put up 53 first quarter points, and they were up by 20 after the first quarter. Then they scored 19 in the second. The Heat, dude, the Heat. Şengün to the rim. Got the layup and the foul. Oof. 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 I said MJ was definitely a better 3-point shooter later. We'll look up the numbers. He was better than where he started, yes, because he was an awful 3-point shooter start. Everybody was. The 3-point shooter was literally introduced, wasn't it, during Jordan's rookie year? So, yes, he was awful because it was a brand new thing at shooting threes. And so, yes, he got better as his career went on, but he was never even an average 3-point shooter. Except for that one year where they moved the 3-point line in. Castle driving it down, stops, gets tied up by Okogie, and it's a jump ball. Or a foul. It's a foul. It's a foul on Okogie. I thought it should have been jump ball. I said his Bam playing might have gone out after the first quarter. No, Bam is out for the next couple of games with the toe injury that he suffered against Denver. No Bam, no hero. He scored 53 points in the first quarter, and now it's a 5-point game. Castle down the lane, throws a lob into Wemby with an easy 2-handed slam, and another timeout from the Rockets. I forgot to give Şengün his 3-point play. So it's 90-97. I said no, the 3 was introduced, I think, Bird's rookie year. Wasn't it 84 the 3-point line was introduced? Am I wrong about that? Hold on, we can look it up together. We can look it up. When was NBA 3-point line introduced? 79.80. Oh, it was earlier than I thought. 79.80. That's what that says. This is Wikipedia says. Lana Mona said, "Do you think there'll be a point shot someday?" You trying to say a 4-point shot, Lionel? I don't. I don't. Nor do I think there should be a 4-point shot. When was it invented? That's what the overview said, but I don't trust the AI overview. I said, "Yep, either year 1 or 2 a bird." October 12th, the first 3-point field goal. I don't need the evolution of the 3. I just want to know what year it was invented. I don't want to go off of the AI overview. I assume it's correct, but you never know with these things. I will reject your cookies. Thank you. Uh-huh. 3-point lines first used in professional league was back in 1961. That was not the NBA, though. When did the NBA? The evolution. Why is it difficult to find this information? Came over from the ABA. Yes. That's what we're reading now. Other leagues had adopted it. The NBA did not adopt it until we assume 79-80. But I can't find the exact date. You would think that they would just tell you in an article like this from USA Basketball. In 76, the ABA and NBA merged, with 4 teams joining the NBA. The 3-point shot at first wasn't part of the package. The NBA stayed firm in the game's traditions. The league didn't adopt the 3-pointer until 1979. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird's rookie season. There you go, Kinohara. You're right on the money there. Right on the money. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird's rookie season, which is a great season to introduce it because that is obviously the turning point of the NBA. Was Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and the popularity came roaring back for the league. I can't believe this Hornets Heat game is even close. I'd be so disgusted if I was a Heat fan. So disgusted. All right, here we go. We're back into it. Reed Shepard has it up top, being guarded by Castle. Great defense from Castle. He's been fantastic all night long. Castle's defense has just been like smothering. He's caused so many turnovers for the Rockets. Kevin Durant down the lane, throws it up at the rim, looking for a foul call, doesn't get it, but Şengün under the basket, battling, gets the tip to go. But the Spurs quickly pushing the other way. Vassell responds with a 3 in transition, created by Steph Castle's offensive push off the make. Wow. And again, the Spurs' half-court offense has not been good tonight, and so their adjustment has been, well, we're just going to push, whether you make it or you miss it. Durant falls away on a little mid-range jumper again, and a loose ball foul on the Spurs as Şengün hit the floor. Durant also continues to flop on those jump shots, fading away and then hitting the floor, looking for a foul call. He hasn't gotten them so far here in this fourth quarter. But Şengün does draw the foul, battling underneath for the rebound. And the referees are going to go look at the monitor because Şengün went down holding his face. Wembanyama got a full hand in the face of Şengün. He doesn't swipe away or follow through or anything like that, so I think it's just incidental contact. I think he feels the face and just kind of lets it go. So I don't think this is a flagrant. I think it's incidental contact. Unfortunate contact, but it is incidental contact. It is a foul on Wembanyama. Casey said Wemby mushed him. Mushing somebody is just so disrespectfully funny. It's disrespectful, but it's hilarious. Every time. Every time. I don't think this is a flagrant foul one. He doesn't follow through at all. Just because you touch somebody's face doesn't mean it's a flagrant. This is Tony Brothers, though, so we have to expect some terrible calls. Tony Brothers, I feel like, doesn't understand the rule book or doesn't understand nuance within the rule book. So Şengün will go to the foul line for 2 free throws, and the Rockets will get the ball back. Kinar said, gotta love Wemby. If you didn't like Wemby, you don't like oops. True. Pretty true. I know what you meant, though, Kinar. I'll clean it up. I'll clean it up as I read it back, because I know what you meant, brother. I know what you meant. Şengün knocked down the first one. He's got another one coming. Got it to go, and the Rockets will get the ball back. Now down by 6. Wembanyama to the bench. Going to get a quick breather before coming back in to close out this one here in the 4th. Anamoto said, Blake Griffin said to get Giannis, everyone is tradable except JB. Me, I wouldn't gut the roster like they did for Melo. I don't know what we're talking about at that point, brother. Hold on. I got to reread that. Durant misses the 3. Can't get it to go. Spurs with the rebound. Here comes Castle. Let's see how the Spurs survive these non-Wembanyama minutes here in the 4th. Castle has it on the left wing, being guarded by Shepherd. Crosses over on Shepherd, down the lane, stops, kicks it out. Barnes wide open on the pick and pop. Sets his feet, takes his time, fires the 3, and nothing but net. Somebody got to get out there at some point. Durant up top, coming to his right. Stops. Vassell switches onto him. Durant crosses over, down the lane, runs right into Barnes. And a charge on Kevin Durant, doing too much as the Spurs crowd, the noise starting to bellow through the arena, wavering down onto the Rockets players. You could feel the energy completely shift in the arena right now. Back to the Spurs. Almost halfway through the 4th quarter here. Barnes knocked down the big 3 and then picked up the big charge on Durant there. And the Rockets are still in that zone. Interesting. Castle gets it over to Champagnie. Back to Castle up top. Castle gets it over to Johnson. Johnson back to Castle. He's going to fire a straightaway 3, a little deeper than I think he wants to be. Can't get it to go down. Loose ball. Vassell picks it up after Keldon Johnson. And Okogie picks the pocket of Vassell. Spurs do a good job getting back on defense to get it over to Durant, though. Blows past the defense and gets the dunk along the baseline. And a timeout for the Spurs there. Just under 6 to go. We're just past the halfway point. Great crash from Keldon Johnson to save the possession, but then Okogie comes up with a big strip steal. Sean Collins, what's up, Sean? Greg said, I think Brunson can get John in line. He's still a useful player. Of course he's still a useful player, but you don't want John Brunson in the backcourt. That is some Ole defense right there, Greg. What did Lionel say? Blake Griffin said to get Giannis. Oh, for the Knicks to get Giannis, everyone is tradable except Jalen Brunson. Me, I wouldn't get the roster like they did for Melo. No, I wouldn't do that. I disagree with Blake Griffin on that point. Completely disagree. I mean, I love Giannis. Giannis is my favorite player in the league. I would love for Giannis to be wearing a Knicks jersey. But you're a championship contending team. I wouldn't get the roster for Giannis to have to rebuild the team around now Jalen Brunson and Giannis because you traded everything away to get him. You know, I said Giannis is great. I sort of say anyone should be traded to get him except JB and OG. I think we're good. Just go compete for the championship, right? Like if Giannis wanted to be a Knick, he should have did it in the offseason. Then they could have made, roster decisions at that point. You can't do it in the middle of the season. If you want to check back on it in the offseason, if the Knicks fall short this season, go ahead. If the Knicks win the championship, obviously they're not going to blow up the roster to go get Giannis, right? So you're not doing it in the middle of the year, so any Giannis discussions to me are just moot at this point. Also, the Bucks seem to be good, and they seem to have fixed their point guard issue, so Giannis should not want to be wanting to leave Milwaukee anyway. Castle has it, kicks it out to Champagnie, who goes along the baseline. And Champagnie stepped on that sideline as he attacked the baseline. Ball going back to the Rockets here. 7-point game. Okay, he said, our team is good now. Now is the worst time to go for Giannis? Absolutely. Absolutely. Great way of putting it. Shepherd gets it over to Durant. Durant gets it over to Şengün. Şengün has it, spins along the baseline, goes up, And a big two-handed slam. And I'm not testing it with the layup. I'm going for the big two-handed jam right now. Where's Wembanyama? Get Wemby back in the game. Castle is straightaway three, can't get it to go. Where's Wembanyama? Spurs, Mitch Johnson, what are you doing? Get Wemby in the game. Durant has it on the left wing. Did Wemby foul out and I missed it? What happened? Şengün has it along the... Like, I get having him, pulling him out for like 2 or 3 minutes to give him a breather so he could end the game strong, but we're under 5 to go now. Şengün down low to Thompson. Gets the layup to go. Great pass from Şengün. It's a one-possession game. I didn't give him the 2 points previously. It's a one-possession game. Where's Wemby? What happened? Where's Wemby? I get pulling him out for a minute or two to give him a breather. We're under 5 minutes to go, coach. Where is your transformational superstar player? Why is he on the bench? What a horrible decision that is. Where is he? Where is he? Did he foul out and I missed it? I feel like the commentary would have made a big deal about Wembanyama fouling out. So I'm pretty sure he didn't. I'm pretty sure he hasn't been in foul trouble all night long. He's got where are the fouls? Where are the fouls? They're not going to show me the fouls? They always show fouls. And now they're not going to show me fouls. Okay, you know what? I don't even care. I don't even care. Because I know Wembanyama did not foul out. He played 32 minutes tonight. Got 18 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. He does have the 4 turnovers, but 3 of those turnovers came in the first quarter when they were down. Poonpei said, calm down, you get your Wemby. It's a 3-point game, Poonpei. It's a 3-point game. And your best player sitting on the bench as the Rockets are making a big run after you had all the momentum. And you had a 9-point lead. You had all the momentum, a 9-point lead, and you pulled Wembanyama out of the game. Just that's at 5 fouls? I see. Oh, there it is, personal fouls. There we go. Wow, I'm blind. It's literally right there. I'm blind, my bad. 5 fouls? Still, I'd leave him. I guess it was right to pull him out. But after it got close, I'd put him back. I'd put him back in. 3 points is too close. But here we go. Wemby comes back in after the timeout. He's got the 5 fouls, so Wemby in the castle, kicks it out to Champagnie, and there's the 3. And there's the gravity of Wemby. All eyes on Wembanyama. All eyes on Wembanyama. 106-100, 4:20 to go. Shepherd has it up top. Interesting that Shepherd's getting the trust from Udoka right now to stay in the game and close this one out. Shepherd to pull up 3 off the screen. Got it to go. Anything you can do, I can do better. Give me them 3 points right back. 106-103. 1 possession game. Castle has it up top. The Rockets still in that zone. Trying to get it to Wemby. Get it to Wemby in that high post area. Inside the Castle. Easy dunk. And Şengün incredibly upset. Castle just snuck behind the defense. Shepherd's looking at him like, we're in the zone, brother. I'm up top. I don't know what you're doing, but we're not man-to-man. So some confusion there for the Rockets. Şengün has it up top, gets it over to Durant, being guarded by Wemby. Durant coming to his right, driving it down, past the lane. Tries to go for the two-handed jam, can't get it to go, but that's because he is fouled. He's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws with 3:30 to go. That's Durant. Durant's got to suck down. Durant's got to come down. Castle, second play in a row, just cuts right behind Shepherd, and nobody's down low to help. 2-3 zone in the NBA is very difficult to play. It doesn't look like the Rockets have practiced it too much because they don't know what that rotation is supposed to be. 3:30 to go. Durant knocks down the first one. He's got another one coming. Namar, what's up, Namar? Durant does knock down both free throws. Back to a 3-point game. Castle has it up top. I think Castle's been pretty spectacular here in the second half. Castle gets back to Wemby in the high post. Swings through to his left, down the lane. Tries to put it up off glass. Can't get it to go. Castle with the offensive rebound. Out to Champagnie. And Champagnie continues to be a flamethrower out there. He and Harrison Barnes have made every big shot that they've needed them to make. Şengün going to go right at Wembanyama. Blows right past him. Can't knock down the lefty hook shot. Can't get it to go. But then Thompson can't get the putback to go, and they call a foul, I believe, on Castle, is going to send Amin Thompson to the foul line for 2 free throws. Şengün knows that Wemby's got the 5 fouls, so going right through his chest, trying to get Wembanyama to foul him. They don't foul Wembanyama out. There was a lot of contact. They could have called a foul there probably. There wasn't enough contact. Not wanting to foul Wemby out. Thompson knocks down the first one. He's got another one coming. Thompson with 13 tonight, 5 boards and 3 assists. I said Spurs shooting via Champagny and Harrison Barnes has been great this season, and Vassell. And it's been very much needed because they don't have too many other shooters outside of those guys. Amin Thompson knocked down both of the free throws, 111-107, 3 minutes to go. Wemby has it up top, swings through to his right, putting his head down, attacking against Şengün, puts it up off glass, can't get it to go. Castle right there again for the offensive rebound and putback. He's just coming flying in every time. Castle's good, man. I love me some Stephon Castle. Durant hits Thompson, coming back door. He gets caught in the air. They swing it over to Okogie, right corner 3. I don't know if that's the guy you want shooting in the clutch here. Long rebound finds its way back to Okogie. Tries to shovel it over to Şengün, right through his hands. A bad pass. And now here comes Castle pushing it. Castle throws a lob up to Wemby. Back out to Castle. Castle's going to hold it. Wind down some clock a little bit. Back up top to Castle. They throw it over the top to Wemby. Wemby against Thompson. Will fall away over him. And Wemby gets the go down. And the Spurs back up by 8 with 2:18 to go. Winding down the clock. Making big clutch shots right now. Trying to keep the Rockets at bay. Keeping them an arm's distance away. I said I've been on Castle since last year. Love that guy. I've been on Castle since his freshman year with UConn. Right? First time I saw him play with UConn, I was like, oh, yep, that's a guy. That's for sure a guy. And then as the season went on, it was like, yep, that's for sure a guy. The fact that he went to the Spurs is like, of course the Spurs draft a humble, really smart kid who's uber athletic, who get, of course. The Spurs get all the good kids. Love me some Stephon Castle. I will say I'm happy he's in the West because I did really like VJ Edgecombe, and he went to the Spurs. Can't root for the. I loved VJ Edgecombe. Went to Philadelphia. Obviously, can't root for Philadelphia. So unfortunately, can't root for VJ Edgecombe. I can root for his personal success, but can't root for his team success. Same with Maxey. I loved Maxey coming out of Kentucky. But that was unfortunate as well. He ends up in Philly. The other guy I really loved coming out of college was Jaime Jaquez, and he ended up going to the Heat. Can't root for him because now he's on the Heat. So I'm happy that Castle at least went to the Spurs because now I could root for the Spurs and root for Castle and be happy with it. Here we go, checking back in. I said Castle, just a damn good player, even as a very mature player. Very mature, very smart, very coachable. All the things you need, all the things you want out of a rookie. Durant has it up top against Barnes, swings through to his left, stops, turns, pivots, spins, fall away, great defense, airballs it. Thompson with the offensive rebound out to Shepherd as the buzzer expires. Can't get it to go, long rebound. Barnes grabs it as Okogie falls into him, and free throws for Harrison. No, we're not in the bonus. That was the third quarter, excuse me. Side out of bounds for the Spurs, but we're under 2 minutes to go here. 1:52 to go. K. Hazy said, fire Ime. I'm sure you will hear Rockets fans saying to fire Ime for sure. Castle will bring it down now with an 8-point lead for the Spurs with under 2 minutes to go. Castle has it up top. Coming to his left off the Wemby screen. Kicks out to Wemby. Wemby has it. Being guarded by Şengün. Out by the 3-point line. Pulls it back out. They show a double team. Gets it out to Castle. They swing it over to Champagny. He's been on fire all night long. Misses that one short. Long rebound. Eason has it. Now here comes Şengün. Hit ahead to Okogie. Okogie has it on the left wing, being guarded by Vassell. Now up top to Şengün. Downloaded Durant. Durant catches it in the paint. Stops, turns. Tries to kick it to Thompson. Cutting along the baseline. Champagny saw it coming all the way. Picks it off. And now they get it to Castle, and they call a travel on Castle. Castle saying, I got fouled. But either way, they hit him with the travel. 21 turnovers for the Rockets, 18 turnovers for the Spurs. Just good fashion defense from both sides to cause these turnovers right now. KH said it's over. Game? I don't know, man. It's an 8-point game. Let's see. We got a minute 18 to go. It's eternity in basketball. They get it over to Şengün. That's 2 threes. Get 2 threes in like 30 seconds. Şengün has it along the right baseline, backing down Barnes. And a foul on the floor. Şengün's going to get 2 free throws out of it because now the Rockets are in the bonus off that Barnes foul. Lamar said Jalen Brunson and Deuce McBride ball out on Wednesday. Is Wednesday coming up or the Wednesday that just passed? Because then it would be past tense. They balled out on Wednesday, which they did. They did. Maybe they will continue to ball out on all Wednesdays coming forward. Şengün's at the foul line for 2 free throws here with 1:11 to go. Misses the first free throw. We can't be missing free throws at this point in the game, Alpy. Alpy, we can't be missing free throws this late into the game, big dog. He's got one more coming. Alperen Şengün with 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists tonight. Lamar said the Wednesday that passed. Yeah, they did. They hooped on him, for sure. Hooped all over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Şengün gets the second free throw to come, at the very least. A 7-point game, 108, 115, little over 1 minute to go. Exactly 71 seconds remain in the game. Barnes gets it into Vassell, back to Barnes. Barnes bringing it down. Hands it off to Castle. Castle being guarded by Eason. Eason, a good disruptive defender, can cause turnovers. Castle, a good strong ball handler. They get it over to Champagnie. Get it over to Wemby in the post, being guarded by Thompson. They show a double team, quickly pass it out. They quickly swing it around. Vassell, a right wing 3. Can't get it to go. Champagnie, the offensive rebound, saves it over. Almost a turnover. It is a turnover. Okogie comes up with the steal. Home run pass finds its way over to Eason. Wembanyama, the last line of defense. The ball's still loose. The ball's still loose. Wemby picks it up, and he gets fouled, and that is going to be the game. Wow. The Rockets had a 3-on-1 fast break with Wembanyama as the lone defender. Now, we know Wemby can defend those, but he does have the 5 fouls. I'd just jump right into his chest and hope for a foul call. What an incredibly chaotic way to end the game. They got the offensive rebound. Okogie comes up with the steal on the Castle pass attempt, throws the home run pass. The guys dive on it. Thompson slips and falls. He can't hold on to it. Şengün almost comes up with the steal back, but knocks it right back to Wemby and then ends up fouling Wembanyama, sending him to the foul line. And that's where we stand as Wemby hits the first free throw. He's got one more coming. Wemby with 21 tonight, 8 rebounds and 4 assists. A pretty poor first half for Wemby, but he came through when they needed him most in that second half, making the proper adjustments. Great team win for the Spurs here tonight. Wemby knocks down both free throws now. Back up by 9. 38 seconds to go. Thompson will bring it down, and apart from a complete Spurs collapse here and an absolute monster three-point shooting, the Spurs should find a win here. Şengün misses. Thompson misses. Castle with the rebound. They take the ball away from him. Champagnie chase down, blocks Okogie at the rim, but Şengün right there for the easy layup. And they get it in the Barnes, and they call a foul in the backcourt, but 18 seconds to go. Should end the game right there effectively. He's going to knock down the free throws or miss them, and that should end the game. The dog catcher said King Wembanyama. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lamar said, I can't wait to play the Nets on Sunday. I also can't wait to play the Nets on Sunday. The next time we meet will be on Sunday to watch the Knicks take on the Nets. Right? I take one of the 2 weekend days off, depending on which day the Knicks play on. The Knicks play on a Sunday, which means we will be off on Saturday. I know we were off yesterday, but that was because there were no good games on. There was only the one game on, and it was a bad game. Fortunately, we were gifted a very, very fun game here tonight. Spurs-Rockets. Very impressed with the Spurs tonight. As Barnes steps to the foul line, knocks down both free throws. How's my score been so off these last couple of minutes? 119, 110. Şengün will bring it down. Tries to hand it off to KD. Barnes jumps the passing lane and gets a two-handed slam on the fast break. Just Oh, I forgot it's NBA Cup, so you got to run the score up. I forgot. Eason bringing it down, trying to go all the way coast to coast, gets it knocked out of his hands, and they call a double dribble on Eason. Wow. I forgot it's the NBA Cup rule, so you got to run the score up. You got to get another shot up if you're the Spurs. Oh, the Rockets are just going to give it to him. They try to get it down low to Wemby, and they turn it over. You should have got a score there. But that's going to end it right there. Keenar said, how many rebounds does Rudy Gobert have against the non-Kessler Jazz? Let's go around the league before we sign off. Great call, Keenar. Great call. Let's check. Robin said the Bucks are winning. Let's check it out. Everybody. Let's check it out together. Let's zoom in a little bit. Zoom in a little bit more. We'll put the scores over there. I can stand not over there. Over here. Now let's zoom in one more time. Is that better? I don't know if that's better. Right? I'm trying to stand over here. Then I'd have to stand over here. Let's zoom out again. Oh, let's zoom back in. All right, I can stand in the middle right here. Perfect. So let's go around the league. Looks like the Heat are going to be able to hang on against the Hornets despite a pretty disruptive second quarter there. They're up by 10 against the Hornets now with 7 to go in the fourth. Mavs, Grizzlies. Grizzlies being down on the Mavs. The Mavs continue to be awful. I don't know. Jason Kidd's season might be on the line. His coaching tenure there might be on the line. Didn't they give him a coaching extension if the Knicks inquired about the Jason Kidd thing? So happy we didn't end up with Jason Kidd. Never believed that. I still don't believe that he's actually a good coach. I think he's been propped up by Luka Doncic this whole time, and you're seeing what he looks like as a coach, having to coach a non-Luka Doncic team. And I know they're without Anthony Davis, but you do have Cooper Flagg. You should be better than 2-6 with the talent that you have on that team. And of course they aren't, because I don't think that they're well coached at all. They will get talent back, so they will be better overall, but I don't believe in Jason Kidd. I said, yeah, I was not a Kidd guy. Not at all. Not at all. I think he's been propped up by Luka Doncic and his magic. I mean, look at the Lakers with all the injuries that they have, and they're still winning because Luka Doncic is that awesome. When you have an awesome player, your team is going to be good. Kinohara said, Udoka, totally different story. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Udoka. Huge fan. We're right here, Kinohara. We're right here. I'm a huge fan of Udoka. Never believed in Jason Kidd. Was so happy that the Mavs did not allow the Knicks to interview him. I don't think he's a very good coach. Bulls, Bucks. Bucks being the Bulls. Seeing the Bulls lose is good. Bucks continue winning is not as good. But one of these teams had to lose. So either way, 2:30 to go in the fourth. And it looks like the Bucks will end up winning by double digits there. Timberwolves dominating the Jazz. I mean, 78 points for the Jazz is pretty horrendous. But let's quickly take a look at the stats. My man Kinohara was asking about it. Gobert tonight, only the 9 rebounds, but Randle at 10, McDaniels at 7, Devo with 6, Edwards with 5. 5 for everybody, at least 5 for everybody in the starting lineup is pretty crazy. Off the bench, Reed at 4. Everyone got minutes pretty much. I mean, the Timberwolves continue to pour it on here. They're up by 39. Their point differential is going to be crazy. Keenar said, yeah, Giannis better than the Bulls. The thing about it, Keenar, is people were going crazy about the Knicks losing to the Bucks. And it's like, when Giannis, when a superstar player has it in their mind, I'm going to be awesome tonight, there's really not much you could do. There's not, especially a superstar player in their prime. Giannis is maybe on the backside of his prime, but in this prime, I think nonetheless. He's only, 31, 32, something like that? You know, maybe even just 30. I don't know. I think he's 31, but either way. Dog catchers at NBA Cup Wild Rodeo for sure. Warriors Jazz just tipped off here. Thunder Kings just tipped off as well. As far as the games that have completed, the Raptors did beat the Hawks. Pistons did dominate the Nets in the second half there, despite it being close in the at halftime. And, of course, we just watched the Spurs take down the Rockets. The Rockets fall to 5-3. The Spurs improved to 6-2. With that being said, I'd like to sign off with everybody. I very much appreciate you guys tuning in to another fantastic game here tonight with us. 121-110 is our final score here tonight. Thank you for everybody joining out to watch us. Robin Schultz, Dogcatcher, Kinahara, Namar, Funpei, Kay Hazy. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all very, very much. My man Justice's dad. Who else do we have in here? Very much appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Greg, Justice's dad. I think I said that already. Appreciate y'all very, very much. Shout out to all the members. Amy Machua, Big Rud, KCLMG Ace, Tetsutsum, Take Cowboys, B. Harris, Sharon McLean, Big Mike, MBM, K. Hazy, Christopher Smith, Gasman, Bossman KP, Darren Michelle, John B. Miller, Jose NYC, Roger G. Wall, OG Roo, Susan, Miguelito Hernandez, Shaq Collins, James Sumler, Ellie Muskov, El Tigre. Knicks will be 2026 champs. Of course they will. David Miskelly and my man Mark. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Of course, as always, the next time we meet will be Sunday. What time did the Knicks play? 6 o'clock start time, I believe, against the Brooklyn Nets. The Knicks should continue their 3-game winning streak to a 4-game winning streak on Sunday, 6 o'clock start time. So, of course, we will be live at 5:30 on Sunday. So I very much appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It is a day off, if only. It is a day off, if only because we are not streaming. But it is not a day off because I will still, of course, as always, be working to make the show better. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Justice Dead. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me tonight. And I'll catch you on the next one. Remember, brush your teeth before bed, get a good night's sleep, and stay hydrated. And I'll see y'all on Sunday. Good night, everybody. Bye.